and Golick Jr.
Trae Young has continued to lean into this idea that sports are also allowed to be a show. It's allowed to be entertainment. And I'm starting to get to the point where I look around at the Suns. I look around at the Clippers. I look around at Giannis and the Bucks right now and wonder, he may not be the best basketball player. We can have that conversation. But is Trae Young officially the biggest star that we have left in this NBA postseason?
Janae and Golick Jr. Weekdays at 4 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And now, watch exclusively on ESPN+.
WYNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. We're live. We're local.
What are you gonna miss? He struck him up.
We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WYNG studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
So I just checked. I looked out the window. The world didn't end. College athletes are making some money off of their name, image, and likeness. And to the happiness of Kev, this is a topic that over the last year, Kinner has actually flipped on to a certain extent. I don't believe that this is college athletes being paid to play basketball, being paid to play sports. It is simply them having the right to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. We can get to the conversation of, should there be some kind of monetization model that schools need to create to pay their athletes? That's where it's going to take a lot more time to convince me that is the direction to go. But I think that this should not have taken this long to do. And I'm amazed at how many people still have an issue with this. I've actually totally flipped from a year ago on this. I used to roll my eyes at this conversation, but I always just made the mistake of lumping it in to one big ball of paying college athletes. People sometimes have a hard time deciphering the difference between paying college athletes and allowing college athletes to make money in many different avenues off their own name. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I'm still baffled at, and I have in front of me, this is some of the restrictions that Ohio State has put on name, image, and likeness. And what Ohio State has done is it's made it very, you can go do it, but you can do it, but you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't do this. I don't understand how they could even put those restrictions on it. I find it very interesting, and it's like, okay, good for the schools for embracing it, but also putting their own spin on it. For instance, if Ohio State has a deal with Coca-Cola, right, athletes cannot do anything with Pepsi.
Right.
But the whole purpose of name, image, and likeness was supposed to be that athletes can now choose to go down their own individual paths from a financial standpoint. And the other thing, we thought about basketball camps. Like if these players go, no, it's always basketball, football, whatever. The camps, well, there might be some restrictions on camps because you can't do anything that is going to take potential dollars away from Ohio State's team camps. Right. Oh, but the players, like Scoochie Smith, former Flyer, has his own brand. Now, this is UD, of course, but he had to remember his own T-shirt brand or his own clothing brand or whatever. Well, if UD has their own brand, and I'm not saying UD is doing this, I don't know all the details of them, but like Ohio State's putting restrictions on if you make a clothing, if you come up with your own brand, like a clothing line or whatever, you can't wear it to practice. You can't wear it to press conferences. You can't promote it with anything team related. So again,
Tariq Smith has his own clothing brand. He's had it. Yep. His brother started the clothing brand when they were in high school, and he's a part of it, obviously, and everything like that. But like he posted something on his social media about like, what is my clothing brand? I can actually promote it now. It's called Humble Beast, I believe. But yeah, you're right. Like, and also like, before, you couldn't, if you had a YouTube channel, you can monetize your YouTube channel, but before you couldn't, but now you can. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of small things that, it's going to need to be worked out and everything like that. The funniest one I did see was BYU. They're a Mormon school and everything like that. Like a laundry list of things like, hey, no promoting, like I think they got Under Armour. So nothing, no Nike, no Adidas, yada, 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 like the typical stuff like that you would expect to see from a school, saying like, all right, man, we have these partnerships already with the school. So, hey, can't do those. But the one that stuck out, coffee. They can't endorse coffee.
What am I missing there?
I believe it's something in the Mormon religion about caffeine or something like that. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I think I need to become a Mormon. That might force me to start drinking so much pop all the time.
Bouncing off the walls.
First of all, but again, stupid. See, now you have me completely on the other side, Kev. Like, there should not be any. I mean, I shouldn't say any, but like, why? If let's say Sarah in accounting can do whatever the hell she could have an OnlyFans. She probably does.
Shouts out to Sarah.
But let's say Sarah, the basketball player, she can't have an OnlyFans. I'm not really arguing that athletes should have OnlyFans, but at the same time, why can Sarah in accounting have it, but Sarah on the basketball team can't? Well, it makes the basketball team. Well, can it make the school look bad? Could the school? Right. So I just don't understand that whatsoever. Unless some of these, I would argue that, okay, if you have me on scholarship and you want to make these part of the restrictions of the scholarship, okay.
I think that's what it is. That's what.
But if I'm a walk-on, I should be able to do whatever the hell I want. But how much power do they have?
Remember the walk-on from Ohio State's basketball team?
Titus.
Yeah, he did everything he wanted to do because he didn't have his.
He's one of the biggest brands of any Buckeye athlete out there.
Trillionaire.
So Club Trill, exactly. Man, David Shaw already off he says, you truly thought these universities were just going to allow these players to do whatever they wanted? LOL. And in typical obnoxious Shaw fashion, a bunch of ha-ha-has. I don't believe I said I thought that they were going to do. I find it amusing that they are doing this, mainly because what the hell's the point then? Like, there seems to be a lot of reverse language here. Like, sure, I can go make money.
But they want to protect their own investments as well. They want to say, like, all right, you can do whatever you want, but as long as it's not affecting us.
But that's what the NCAA was doing. So why is it bad when the NCAA does it, but when the schools do it, it's, oh, man, once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye.
Well, I mean, we knew how
I think it's crap.
They were ready to
sue their own TBT team.
Alumni team for using that. So we know how these schools do. But I get it. I understand where Ohio State is coming from. I don't necessarily.
But how can you not say the same thing about the NCAA?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
See, now I'm more pro player than Kev. You see what kind of universe we living in.
I don't like it. I don't think that it's fair. I don't think that it's reasonable. Like, look, man, like the times are changing. And let's be clear. This is day one. We're only, 14, 15 hours into this. So there's going to be a lot of hurdles. There's going to be a lot of mistakes made. Because the NCAA at the 19th hour, they said, okay, we're going to allow this to happen. Well, you really didn't have any choice because it was going to happen if you liked it or not. So since the NCAA drug their feet as usual, going to court trying to block this from happening, there was nothing in place. There was, like we talked about before, no foresight and nothing in place. So each individual school, each conference is just trying to trying to figure it out all on their own with no help from the NCAA. Something I definitely want to ask a person like a Jay Billis or a Golick Jr. when we have them on. What does Mark Emmert do? Because he makes $4 million a year, and I've never seen him make a decision, ever.
Oh, it's just, that's going to be up to the individual conferences. But if you don't make a decision, I will.
Dude,
that's all BS. We
hustling backwards, man.
Hustling don't backwards. Hate the player, hate the game.
Factual.
But look, I guess all I'm saying is that we bash the NCAA for what they did, but the schools are now turning back and doing the same exact thing. And they're just doing this cute little, you're allowed to do it, but ... That's not being allowed to do it. Now, right. I'm in full favor of schools saying you could be in that car commercial, but you can't wear an Ohio State jersey in it unless Ohio State's getting part of that cut. The Dayton Flyers, I don't know all the full details of how UD is going about. There definitely is going to be restrictions. There's always going to be restrictions. But just because Nike, and I don't remember, I think Ohio State's it's Nike with them. But just because Nike is their brand doesn't mean that these athletes can't go do Adidas commercials. And they just shouldn't be able to say, hey, Buckeye, hey, I'm a Buckeye. My name is blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And they should just be doing that. Now, to be fair, if Under Armour wanted a Buckeye player to do a commercial and Nike is their thing, they probably wouldn't want the Buckeye player unless it was some big, huge name or whatever. So the bottom line is Ohio State's doing the same thing that the NCAA was doing because you can't infringe. I mean, if you're going to make money, we got to make money. Right. It is no different. The schools are just as bad as the NCAA. We yell at the NCAA. We tell them how selfish they are, but the schools, I'm a fly, and the Flyers aren't doing this. I'm not throwing it. Well, maybe they are. I don't know, but I'm not throwing shade at them. But for Ohio State, and I'm about to read these, it is very, I think you've pigeonholed them. At this point, the only thing they're allowed to do is stand on the corner with a cup and rattle it back and forth, but not anywhere around the campus probably. So I'm just saying, I think it's dumb. You could do a camp, but you can't use Ohio State in any of the, it's college basketball player E.J. Liddell here. Okay. I just find that strange.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair that you can't use their brand to promote your brand. I think that's fair.
But that's your title. That's your title is, hey, Buckeye basketball player. That's your title. I understand not using the logo, Kev. Absolutely. Yeah. But I guess, I don't know. I just find it odd.
It's the same thing for Aaron Rodgers when he's in all the All-State commercials. He doesn't say who he plays for because we don't even know who he plays for. So bad example, Chris Paul. He doesn't say he plays for the Suns. It's just, hey, it's Chris Paul, Uncle Cliff, that thing.
But he's allowed to go do that.
Yeah.
These guys aren't.
They'll be allowed to do that, but they can't promote the. Well,
I'll read these. I'm sorry. My bad. And maybe I'm misreading these, but let me unplug this phone here. Of course, my Kate. What the? Hold on.
Oh man.
This
is like a Monday.
And by the way, I feel like I'm getting older because I did something today that I make fun of old people for doing.
Yourself?
I took my phone and I did one of these numbers. I hate.
Do you wear glasses?
I wear contacts, but I do have glasses. But yeah, when I did the thing where I held my phone up today and I made that weird wrinkle on my nose and squinted to look at it, I was like, oh, I hate you right now. Okay, so you may not enter into a name, image, and likeness. This is from Ohio State. It's their student athlete. It's from the Ohio State Athletics name, image, and likeness from their guide here. You may not enter into a name, image, and likeness agreement with any of the following industries. Okay, we'll start here. If you are a Buckeye player, you cannot be involved with name, image, and likeness in any way with distilled spirits, which is hard liquor.
Right.
My thing is why? Why not? If it's E.J. Liddell the person, E.J. Liddell the college basketball person, and not E.J. Liddell the Buckeye, why not? Why are you still trying? I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that. So this one, tobacco products. By the way, I can see if high schools were wanting to do this for obvious reasons, but you mean to tell me that a 21-year-old college athlete can't promote liquor?
I'm sure there's some lingo inside the scholarship. I'm almost positive there's some.
So they found the restriction and they've hid them in other. They haven't had to hide them in the
right.
But now that's going to change.
I think it's in the sheet of paper that you sign every year when you renew your scholarship. It's in there somewhere, and they're just bringing it to light. I am almost 100% sure of that.
Oh, and
I'm going to hit up somebody to send me some stuff.
But that is what it is probably. And the problem I have with it is all these schools have done now is they found ways now that scholarship.
Yes.
Now they are going to, we're not putting restrictions on name, image, and likeness. Now we're just putting restrictions on the scholarship. It's good for them, by the way. You move the goalpost, we'll just keep walking closer to it.
All these schools, they have law.
And they have attorneys on their side. Yeah. You were going my bad.
Left and right. So they're working on this. And I mean, unlike the NCAA, the schools themselves are thinking towards the future, like, okay, well, we can't let CJ Stroud be out here wearing Under Armour. Lawyers, get on it. To the page 97 of your scholarship that I'm sure you didn't read, that you just signed your name to, so you can come here and play football and everything like that, says da 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 da. So yeah, that lingo means you can't do the A, B, C, and D. So, yeah, I'm positive that's what it is.
And Chris Schlapp with another sloppy take. A 20-year-old or younger probably shouldn't be pushing the sale of liquor, Kinner. Never said they should be pushing the sale of liquor, Schlapp. And I never even listed an age or anything like that. I mean, all I'm saying is the fact that why are they putting restrictions on any of this? The whole deal of all this was to lift the restrictions, was to lift the ban of them being able to, you can make money on it, but you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't. I mean, it sounds like one of those medications where it's going to cure this, but you're going to have like 85 other, you just got to weigh. You got to weigh. Like you're going to have 85 other side effects that just make it, is it even worth it to even take this as far as that goes? Look, I went from the biggest anti-player in the world to, here I am, just ticked off, I guess. So how about this one? So March Madness is king in March for obvious reasons, but it's also king with DraftKings and FanDuel and anything else that you can make money on, right?
Right.
These athletes cannot be associated with any casinos or entity that sponsors or promotes gambling activities. Now, that may sound like a common sense thing. They call it the Pete Rose rule, if you will. But the bottom line is that why are we going to promote? Make sure you gamble on this, bet on this, bet on that. The over/under is this, that. Right. But don't associate with it. The same over/under banner with the DraftKings logo on SportsCenter with the highlights of the 18, 19, 20-year-old kids playing in the background. Those kids can't make money off of what you're making money off of, and the same thing with the NCAA. Give me a break. It's all hypocrisy. It's all it is.
Correct.
So, yeah. And Brian McCoy, yeah, I get it. Some aren't 21. No, I get that. But I mean, look, that's where you start that's where you start deciphering where you can make those, divide as far as I'm concerned. So marijuana, including legalized or medical products, I understand. But if I live how about, what's Shaq's son name? Sharif. His mom owns Shawnee?
Yeah.
She owns a couple shops over in Los Angeles. She lives in Texas now. She probably owns some there. Or so I learned from Basketball Wives. I have no clue. The last I checked, right? No, but the bottom line is it doesn't matter. Chris Schlapp, don't hate when you get proved wrong. Chris, go jump off of a bridge or run with a pair of scissors, my dude. You are the most obnoxious human being on the face of the earth. Why you listen to the show, why you follow me on social media is beyond me, because all the kid does is he cries in his diaper constantly. It is unbelievable. Like, he is just on my last nerve, and we're only 15 minutes into the show today. Let's see. Any business engaged in the sale, rental, or exhibition of any form of, consideration of adult entertainment. So basically, OnlyFans are for only adults, I guess. I don't know. No OnlyFans accounts for these athletes as far as that goes. So there you go. That's kind of a given. But just some of these too. And so there is more lingo in there about camps, and about commercials and about everything else. The stuff we kind of
one about commercials. I didn't see that one. What are they saying?
About not being able to use the logo. That one I understood. Okay. That one I completely understood. But it goes on to say you can't even if it's just EJ Liddell, the human being, he cannot do a Pepsi commercial because Coke is the product of Ohio State. That's weird to me. And
I agree. But I do believe that it's not going to be these Coca-Colas and Nikes reaching out to these young people. I think it's going to be more of the social media stuff. Like, I believe with Bo Nix, he has a tea company reached out to him, and he's making some bank. Mm-hmm. I believe that Mackenzie Milton, he has his own trading card, and his deal is worth like $25,000. Eric King down at Miami, their quarterback, he just signed like a $25,000 deal with a trading card company. So I think it's going to be more of those type of situations. Look, man, we got to understand this. We're kind of connected a little bit, and we know that boosters love giving these dudes money. They love to feel like they're a part of the program.
And they will keep getting the money.
They're going to give them money. So if it's a situation where, hey, man, we want EJ Liddell to come to my son's birthday party and we give him $5,000, now that's going to be legal. I think it's going to be more stuff like that. And like with Johnny Manziel signing his autograph at an autograph signing, you're going to make some bank off of that and things of that nature. I don't necessarily see it transforming into like this thing that like, oh man, now we're going to be seeing whoever the quarterback is from UCLA in car commercials in Ohio. Like, I just don't believe that it's going to jump the shark that far. I think it's going to be a very localized regional thing that the student athletes are going to be able to make a lot of money off of. I was watching ESPN this morning. They were talking about a female gymnast has $1 million deal on the table right now. And she's didn't even make the Olympic team this year. She didn't make the Olympic team this year. She got beat out by another young woman, but she has $1 million deal on the table that she's going to be closing within the next couple weeks. That's awesome. Like, let's be real, man. I don't understand how anybody could be mad at somebody making money, legit money. And I applaud that. And you know why the government is good with this? Because they get to tax this money. They get to tax this money now. They get their cut. So the government, now we talk about how far the NCAA has been behind on this. The government has been behind on this as well, because think of all the money that they could have been taxing these people on for all these years. But instead, they just go ahead and let the NCAA operate as a nonprofit business, give them all these tax credits. You could have been taxing these dudes left and right. If a gymnast is about to get $1 million deal, y'all could have taxed that and got y'all cut. And all these other people across the country that's got to enter a new tax bracket. So not only did the NCAA mess up, our own government been sleeping this whole time.
Yeah, and Chris Schlapp, again, just continuing to spread all that knowledge that he has. He says the NCAA blank is getting out of control. What's getting out of control? What's getting out of control?
I don't know. Do tell.
I would love to know what's getting out of control. Because the athletes that have, he's a Dayton Flyers fan. At least he pretends to be. if you are a fan of these athletes, they benefit you, right? You overspend on tickets and you overspend on whatever else that comes with going to games to watch these athletes who entertain you and your kids and your family. But yet, when they want to do something that benefits them, you have a problem with that. You're a weird fan. That's being a weird fan. I want you to entertain me. It's like a toy. It's like you want to take the toy out to play with the toy and then put it back in the box and put it away. It's like that's weird to me. That's weird to me. And like I said, I've come full circle on this from a year ago to now. I used to roll my eyes at this too. I still think it's separate than the schools paying them. It's the opportunity for them to go make money off their own name, image, and likeness, which I have no problem with. I would love to know how that's them getting out of control. You want to know what was out of control? All the stuff behind the scenes that was being done. Because of all this. Chris Schlapp says it gives more power to the big schools. How? The good players are going to go to the bigger schools always.
You know what? I think it.
Or unless there's a connection, like, of course, with Hardaway at Memphis or whatever. But the bigger schools they've always had it. They always will. It's because they have more resources. They have, they have better facilities. They have bigger TV deals. That's why they have the advantage, not because of name, image, and likeness. And if anything, name, image, and likeness, we talked about this the other day. No one's going to, if I'm going to be the third string quarterback at one of these bigger schools, I'm losing money because I can go to a mid-tier school and be the starter and make more money. So, no, I totally disagree that that's going to be the case.
I agree with you. I don't think that is as big a deal as people are going to be making it out to be. I think it's actually going to help out other teams with the transfer rule and the name, image, and likeness. I think this is an opportunity for quote unquote lower level teams to make a splash, to make an opportunity for themselves to, climb up their rankings and everything like that. We look at teams like that find themselves always scrapping and always to be a pest, like Northwestern. No, we don't look at Northwestern as a threat. We look at them as a pest. Like, why don't y'all just go away? Like, come on, man. Like in the Big Ten championship game, we as spoiled Ohio State fans looked at them like, oh, man, we're going to blow them out. Knowing dang on well that Northwestern plays good football and they're a pest. And what did they do? They stuck around in the first half, stuck around in the second half. Like, man, why don't you just go away so we can go on with our business? So it's going to be situations like that. Like you talked about dudes that are third string at Ohio State. Like, look, man, I'm good. I was a 5-star quarterback and they didn't brought in another 5-star dude and another 5-star dude. I'm a redshirt sophomore. I'm out of here. I'm going to go to Northwestern and be their quarterback. Okay. Now we got the ball rolling. Now I'm in the media market of Chicago. How about that? Like, that's how it's going to work. And that's better for the sport, to be perfectly honest. Like, yes, I want the Ohio State to win and dominate and blow everybody out the water, and I can eat my popcorn by halftime and not care. Of course, that's what I want. But for the betterment of the game, it's better that more teams are involved. It's better that talent is spread out. That's why they reduced the scholarship limits back in the day. That's why they went from like 100-something scholarships to 85 scholarships, so more talent could spread across the country, to make it more of a balanced situation. So I believe that the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness is going to make talent think like, all right, man, I don't want to not only have to be the fourth string dude and fight my way up the depth chart, but look, man, if I'm on the depth chart at number 1, that means I get a crack at the money sooner. So I think this talent is going to spread across the country.
Yeah, that's
even
right.
More.
Yeah. And again, because before it was like, I mean, look at Mac Jones. By the way, name, image, and likeness, Mac Jones would not be. I mean, I thought that was a cool story. I thought it was cool that he was patient. He sat behind many great quarterbacks. But I don't think that story will ever exist again moving forward, because not only is your playing time being impacted by it, now your chances to make money.
Right.
No one ever heard of Mac Jones until Tua went down with that injury halfway into the 2019 season, or the 2019 season. No one ever heard of Mac Jones. And that's the thing, at least from a national standpoint. But again, when you talk about, there's only select schools that you're going to be talking about national deals being done as far as that goes. Bottom line is, I think this is actually a good thing. It is going to create more of a headache for the NCAA. I think that they're going to be cracking down on some of the other stuff to kind of overcompensate for having the power taken away. Just watch how hard they come down on some schools. Just as you know what I mean? Like, you rattle their cage, you're going to rattle yours. But I don't think that this is going to eliminate a lot of the backdoor money that's been given to not just the athletes, but the families as well. It's interesting. I've had some stories shared with me, especially with SEC schools. And again, this happens at Ohio State too. So let's stop acting like, yeah. But there is a pizza shop close to Alabama's campus. Mm-hmm. And this was told to me by a former Buckeye. And he said that this pizza shop, that the program would funnel money to the owner of this pizza shop would be their point of contact. So this contact would then reach out to the recruits' families, and now all of a sudden he's the new family friend. Mm-hmm. Hey, I missed you guys. We need to catch up. How about you and blah blah blah? Come on out here. I'll fly you out, and we'll catch up. So this family friend that was given money to then be used to pay for their flight to come into town. I'm going to give you a tour on campus. So it now becomes an unofficial tour around campus. You accidentally find your way in the coach's office. You accidentally stumble. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm new around here. I didn't know where I was at. I accidentally made my way to the great facilities over here on campus. I didn't know we couldn't be in here. And then, you go back to your rental car to drive back to the airport, and there just happens to be a bag full with money. Oh, man, how'd that... I knew I left that bag of $30,000 somewhere. Thank goodness I found it. I was worried sick about it. That stuff was always going on. That to me was the real issue more than anything else. So it is what it is. I think that stuff continues as far as that's concerned. Now, if you're Reggie Bush, we'll step away for a few moments. Kev, I got a question though. If you're Reggie Bush, and I'm already seeing it, Reggie Bush is, a lot of former athletes are gloating right now. Even the Tressel defenders, and I'm a big Jim Tressel fan, don't get me wrong. But does today vindicate Jim Tressel? Does it vindicate Reggie Bush? Does it vindicate a lot of former athletes who were penalized for their discretions by breaking rules that were set in place back in the day? Does today all of a sudden just retroactive eliminate those punishments? Same thing we talk about with Pete Rose all the time. Back then, gambling was frowned upon. Now, Major League Baseball is making millions off of it. Should Pete Rose be let in the Hall of Fame because of it? It's the same kind of conversation here. Does today change the perception of Reggie Bush and his Heisman, who says that he has written the NCAA and he's trying to get his Heisman back? He wants his record in the national championships to count. Should everything just be erased from the past? I'm going to tell you why. No, it should not. We'll talk next. Don't go anywhere. By the way, we do have Brian Roberts, former Flyer. He's going to be calling in at 4:00. So we'll chat with him coming up here, top of the hour. Really cool stuff there. So we'll be back in a moment. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 80. Tonight will be partly cloudy, a low near 62, and tomorrow will be mainly clear, a high near 80. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
BC Powder knows life pushes us to the max, work to the max, family to the max. That can mean pain to the max. So try BC Max Strength. BC Max relieves tough pain at the speed of powder. Nothing stronger on pain without a prescription. BC Max in a great tasting lemonade flavor. And now max out your summer fun with a $5 gift card when you purchase BC Max. Terms and conditions at bcpowder.com.
There's nothing better than a fresh-made home-style meal, but not everyone loves the hassle of cooking. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, home-style happens here with our famous 12-piece family meal at a great price. This famous family meal includes 12 mixed pieces of Lee's fresh, never-frozen chicken that is honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and cooked to perfection, plus 3 large sides and 6 fluffy biscuits. Get a home-style meal made easy today with Lee's 12-piece family meal at a great price. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Hi, Pete Kasuja here to tell you that if you're looking for the very best selection of your favorite garden plants, we grow over 125 varieties of tomatoes, peppers, cabbage, broccoli, cucumbers, cantaloupe, and eggplants. And if you haven't tried our famous Neighbor Beater tomato and pepper plants, come out and pick up a few and enjoy the best taste you ever had from your garden. They taste so good you'll wish you planted more. And remember, Neighbor Beater garden plants are sold only at our garden center at 1309 Brant Pike. So get out that shovel and start digging. It's time for gardens, bedding plants, rose bushes, vines, ground cover, shade trees and shrubs, bird baths and fountains, and so much more. So join the Green Revolution and come out to see us at 1309 Brant Pike, where we're open 7 days.
Get more out of summer with 4th of July savings from the Home Depot. Right now, Earth Grow mulch is just 3 bags for $10. Spread that mulch around your flower beds, trees, and garden. You'll be proud, and your plants will be protected. Boost your curb appeal with Earth Grow mulch at the everyday low price of 3 bags for $10. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Limit 75 bags per customer. Color selection varies by store while supplies last. Not available in all stores. Continental U.S. only.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches, weakness, or discomfort in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 selling nerve care company. Nervive contains alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, and B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live your life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven. It's time for some straight talk. We've all been there. You have some real work to do, but the free Wi-Fi where you're working isn't going to cut it. It's like leaving the winning runner stranded on third base. Not good. Well, now you can be your own hotspot with Straight Talk's Ultimate Unlimited plan. Get 10 gigs of hotspot data for just $55 a month. All on America's largest, most dependable networks. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Compatible device required. See straighttalk.com.
In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get high-quality auto insurance from Allstate at a new low rate. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, welcome back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Reggie Bush released a statement after the Supreme Court ruling yesterday, of course, and this was Reggie Bush's statement. He says, over the last few months, on multiple occasions, my team and I have reached out to both the NCAA and the Heisman Trust in regard to the reinstatement of my college records and the return of my Heisman. We left multiple messages for Michael Comfort, the president of the Heisman Trust, but instead received a call from Rob Whalen, the executive director, who stated that Mr. Comfort would not be calling us back and that in any event, they could not help us. We reached out to the NCAA on multiple occasions and received no help or got no response at all. It is my strong belief that I won the Heisman Trophy solely due to my hard work and dedication on the football field, and it is also my firm belief that my records should be reinstated. Now, there is no denying that this statement is coming out at the exact time of name, image, and likeness being ruled, a profitable thing now for players moving forward. That had this name, image, and likeness ordeal had taken place 2 decades ago, Reggie Bush would be still considered a Heisman champion. Would have won the Heisman, right? All his records would still stand. And he wants everything reversed. He wants his records to be reinstated. He wants his Heisman Trophy to be reinstated. He wants it all back. Now, all of that, of course, back then, and I get it. It's silly. It's outdated. And the rule was, it's dumb. That's why we are here at this point, and that's why players are starting today are now officially able to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. And having these rules in place decades ago would have prevented some of the toxic happenings that have happened over the last 2 decades. I mean, something as extreme as what, Reggie Bush, some of the stuff we heard about Cam Newton, even all the way up to the smaller things like the tattoo gate when it came to Jim Tressel and others. Now, I think we can all agree that those rules are silly, that tattoos led to the crumbling of the Jim Tressel era at Ohio State, that, money for, Duke, when it comes to, Zion Williams, should the NCAA just stop investigating everything now because it's okay now for players to make money to where it wasn't okay back when this happened? So Reggie Bush wants everything to disappear, all his trends, all his mistakes, the fact that he was a part of the problem, everything. He doesn't want to be punished for it anymore. He thinks he should get his trophy back and everything along those lines. Here's my problem with that. I get it. The rules, they're outdated. They're silly. They're dumb. But that doesn't mean you should just wipe away punishments to players who knew the dumb rules. The rule is dumb, but you knew the dumb rules. You knew the ramifications of being caught breaking those said dumb rules, and knowing that you are breaking the rules and knowing what those ramifications could be, being, of course, having, your awards taken from you, having your stats wiped out. Those are just individual issues. But you knew damn well that your selfish decisions of taking money that you shouldn't, of, accepting money and getting the bribes and doing everything that you shouldn't, although silly that they couldn't make money off their name, image, and likeness back then, the rule was the rule. And you broke it. And you broke it knowing that had you got caught, you were going to not only impact yourself, but the teammate to your left, your teammate to your right, your coach, the legacy of your program. And that's exactly what happened. So just because today name, image, and likeness is now officially a factor that athletes can make money off of moving forward, that doesn't change the fact that as of yesterday, it wasn't. And as of when Reggie Bush played, it was not okay. The rule was dumb. It was silly. It does not give you the right to break it. And then today you have guys like him and others who are putting smiley faces on their social media like, ha ha, we won. What did you win? It doesn't take away from the fact that you cheated, that you broke the rules. You knowingly broke the dumb rules. And now because those rules no longer exist, you think that all of a sudden you could just go back and just erase all the transgressions from himself and all the other athletes who accepted money that got caught? Because moving forward, athletes now can do this. And it's not cheating or it's not breaking a rule moving forward. And they're doing the same things that these other athletes did, but it was breaking the dumb rules. So this is silly, asking to have things reversed because the rules changed today. No, it should not be reversed. I'm not anti-Reggie Bush. I'm just anti the idea of thinking that it's okay to break the rules. And then when that rule that you broke becomes fair later on, that you just think, oh man, everything's fine. I should not be punished. I should get some kind of compensation for the pain and suffering I went through being punished for a rule that I knowingly broke. Bottom line is Reggie Bush should not get his Heisman back. His record should not be, reinstated or however you want to call it. The bottom line is this is silly. This is like if I get a speeding ticket going 65 and a 55, and then 2 years later, that 55 now becomes a 65, and now I want to go ask for my money back and say, oh, well, you fined me. I had to pay this ticket that you paid the ticket because at that time the speed limit was this, and you broke that law. You broke that rule. So you had to pay for the rule that you broke then. Just because that rule and the speed limit changes 2 years from now, that does not mean that we owe you money back. It doesn't work that way. Give me a break. Not a fan of that at all. I don't know why. Let the athletes of today enjoy this. Yeah. Don't use this as a talking point to try to get back what was taken from you for your mistakes. Because, Kev, the rules were dumb. I get it. It was dumb. But you know what? You knew the ramifications of what would happen if you broke the rule. You broke the rule. You not only impacted your life, but the teammates around you. Does it take away the fact that you lived through the joy of that Heisman season? Does it take away the fact that you enjoyed the stats and that everyone was just going bananas watching you, the national championships? They could take the numbers off of a piece of paper or off of a banner in the stadiums, but overall, they can't take away the memories and the feelings and the joy and emotion you felt during those times. Just count your blessings. You had one hell of an NFL career as well. You have a great gig with Fox. Stop making today about you. Today should not be about Reggie Bush. It should be about what I think is a very historic day in college athletics moving forward, and it's a good thing for today's college athletes. You screwed up. Bottom line. And I don't feel sorry for Reggie Bush. I unfortunately don't feel sorry for Jim Tressel, who's one of my all-time favorite coaches. Ignorance, you can't plead ignorance in these situations. We all know the rules of it all. The bottom line is that stop making today about the guys who screwed up in the past. This is about the athletes moving forward and the opportunities that are presented to them. I'm tired of hearing it already all day today. This is all I've been seeing and reading and hearing across all shows. And I think it's wrong. I really do. I think it's wrong.
So there's a couple of things. One, like today's athlete doesn't have the opportunities that they have without the athletes of the past. So they do have a right to bicker and, state their case about why they should have their records reinstated. I'm with Reggie Bush. I'm with the Fab Five. I'm with a lot of these guys who think that their records and banners should be reinstated and everything like that. I liken it to how our government now is erasing drug records for marijuana for people. Now that marijuana is legal, now that the government is getting their cut, people are going to court to get those records expunged from their record. So, they don't have a felony on their record. And the government, to their credit, is saying, you know what, you're right. So I liken it the same way. It's to me, as I view it the exact same way. It's the same way like that other programs. I'm trying to exactly find which one it was. I'm almost sure it was North Carolina basketball. Like they took wins away from the program and they appealed it. And then they reinstated the wins. I think they got like over 60 wins taken away from them back. Like this is before we were even thought of, but like back in like the 50s and 60s or whatever. And, through litigation and everything like that, those wins got reinstated to North Carolina basketball's records and everything like that. So I don't see how they can do it and reinstate their wins for that program. And our government can say, hey, man, we're now making it legal to sell marijuana in the United States in some cities, and we're taxing it and getting money. So you know what? Yeah, you know what? We're going to take take that off your record so you don't have that felony on your record.
They're also doing that because jails are overcrowded, too. If jails weren't so overcrowded, I don't think they'd be going back.
No, I'm talking these are some people that are out. That it did
out now, but most likely going back for something that they do, I'm sure. No, I'm just saying, like the bottom line is they're doing this because jails are getting overcrowded. So it's a get out of jail free for multiple sides. So there you go. A little bit too hot takey there. My bad. But
no, I'm talking about people that already paid their debt to society, so to speak, but they still have this felony on their record every time they apply for a job and everything like that. And I have a family member who's gotten that expunged.
Oh, my bad.
So
I hope they don't go back to jail. My bad.
He's on the up and up. He's been on the up and up for quite a while, but like getting that expunged from your record, not only, obviously easier for you to get a job and everything like that, but it's for sense of pride. Like, I got that off my record now. I can move forward with my life and everything like that. So I view it the same way. Like, hey, man, if our government is seeing a flaw in how they used to govern marijuana, how come the NCAA can't see a flaw in how they used to govern paying athletes?
My opinion on this is staying away from the legal examples so that you don't think I'm taking a shot at your family member there. But my thing is this: when it comes to Reggie Bush and those athletes who had made these mistakes in the past, it's not so much that, okay, looking back at it now that it's okay for name, image, and likeness to profit off of, now it's like, okay, well, now we're being sympathetic towards him being punished for all that back then. It's, to me, I look at it like this: it's the fact that you knew it was wrong and you did it anyways. That's why you have to keep it the way it is. You knew it was wrong. You did it anyways. Sure, it's stupid, but it's like saying, well, I'm not going to stop at the stop sign. I think it's a stupid place to have a stop sign, so I'm not going to stop. And then you get in a wreck and blah, blah, blah. I just think it's ridiculous to say that because you find a rule stupid, or, man, pot should be legal and blah, 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 which, you know what? It should. Here's a hot take for you. Whatever, it should. But the point is that if it's not and you do it anyways and you get caught, you can't sit there in the back of the cop car the whole time and say, but it's stupid. In all these states, it's legal and blah, blah, blah. Because if I'm the cop, I'm going to say, then go smoke it in those states. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Bottom line is you can't do it here. Bottom line is you couldn't take money back then. You can now. And you took it during a time you weren't supposed to, and you're being punished for it at that point. And that's where I'm at with that. Mainly just because I have a hard time with athletes who knowingly make a selfish decision that doesn't just impact them, but impacts everyone around. But to sit there and wake up today and Reggie Bush act like, oh, today it's a winning day for me. No, it's a winning day for all of college athletics and for the athletes who now get to profit off of their brand that they have built, that their talents and hard work have been a part of. Reggie Bush is right. He worked very hard and he feels that he earned those. You did earn those stats. And you also earned the punishment that came with it too. It's just, to me, it's a two-way street as far as that goes. And I made the Pete Rose example. Someone wrote on the Facebook page about the Pete Rose thing. I said, I'm not saying that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame now just because baseball is profiting off of all these gambling sites, but I can't point towards the hypocrisy. Is there a little hypocrisy that athletes can, the same things that are keeping Reggie Bush, expunging his Heisman and his stats and everything, the same thing that those stats are being expunged for and being erased is because the same things that the athletes are making money off of today? Yes, I could see the hypocrisy in it, but I'm also diving deeper into it, saying it's the fact that it was a rule, dumb rule, but it was a rule. You chose to break it anyways. We can't pick and choose what rules we want to follow and not follow just based on what rules we find dumb or not. And those who do choose which rules to follow or not follow based on what rule is dumb or not, you have to accept the punishment that comes with it. And that's where we're at right now. So moving forward, when athletes do what Reggie Bush did, they won't be punished for it. Why? Because the rules, they're playing within the rules. He did not play within the rules, and that's where we're at. I got bashed for that years ago, of course, by the Buckeye faithful when it came to Chase Young. I think remember he flew his girlfriend out. I forgot what game it was.
Rose Bowl.
It was he wanted to fly his girlfriend out, or a girl. I don't know. It was he wanted to he wanted some company, so he flew some company out. And
you are on a roll today.
He couldn't do it. But he knew that you can't do it. But it's a stupid rule. I should be able to fly. If I want a friend to come watch me play in a football game, I should be able to pay for that individual to come watch me play football. I mean, come on, that's such a stupid rule. I agree with you, Chase Young. It's a very stupid rule, but you can't do it. But I'm going to do it anyways because I'm Chase Young. I'm going to go to the NFL. I'm going to make millions of dollars, and I could do what I want because this rule is stupid. And then when he gets caught, we're talking about Chase Young like, oh, poor Chase Young. Oh, man, he's just another victim of the dumb rules of the NCAA. Or he's just dumb for breaking the rules that he knew were in place.
There goes that interview.
Darn. Yeah, anyway. So the point, no, but it is dumb. Like, I get it. The rules are dumb, but you got to follow them. You can't sit there and break dumb rules and then put your hands in the air and do the what? What did I do? You're going to punish me. Yeah. Because you didn't follow the rules. Everyone's like, it doesn't matter. The rules are dumb. Well, we can have that conversation. The rules are dumb. We can have that conversation. But it doesn't change the fact that the dumb rules were in place for a reason, and you'll get punished for breaking those dumb rules. And Chase Young did that. So because I didn't do what every other Buckeye did, and I just cried and cried because, oh, poor Chase Young, he has to sit out against Rutgers and freaking Maryland. Because I didn't do that, I was they were killing me on the boards. They were killing me on the little talk chat boards or whatever the hell they call them. So I was told. Bottom line is, I didn't.
That was for the Bosa situation.
That they were killing me on the boards for that too. I get killed on the boards a lot, apparently. Someone told me one time back in the day. Bottom line is, I agree. Reggie Bush should have been able to get that money. He should have been able. The players at Ohio State should have been able to get those tattoos and all that stuff. I mean, my goodness. But at the same time, you knew you weren't supposed to, and you knew that your goal is to win a national championship and win as a team. You knew all those things, and you knew that by getting a tattoo or by accepting this money or by flying in some strange to watch a football game, doing all those things. Sure, you benefit from them in the short term, but the ramifications of how it could impact not just you, but the program and the teammates around you long term, you chose to be selfish in that moment.
So he shouldn't even reach out to try to see. He should just sit there and take it.
I'll see if I'll do the interview. I'm
talking about Reggie Bush.
What?
He should just say, all right, well, I'm not going to try for reinstatement.
Yeah, just don't put it out on the first day that name, image, and likeness is a thing and making it about you, because it shouldn't be a thing if you just followed the rules to begin with. Like, I don't know. Yes, I see what you're saying. Yes, he should try. If you have a chance to get it back, I mean, why not? Like, Pete Rose should, every chance he gets, be trying to be reinstated. You know what I mean? Like, he should be able to, to continue to fight for that. So I see what you're saying. Yes, fine, do it. But why publicly? Why release a public? Because he's trying to put the pressure, because they're putting the walls out. But again, not today. Don't do it today. That's all. Is what it is. All right, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. So Brian Roberts, former Dayton Flyer, he's going to join us coming up here in a little bit. It's pretty cool. This is an article put out by David Jablonski, just for Dayton Daily News, covers the Flyers, does an awesome job. He put this out a little bit ago. Former UD star Brian Roberts is involved in a contract that will have athletes endorsing a rental property near campus. A local business, Flyer Faithful LLC, led by former Dayton Flyer star Brian Roberts, announced Thursday that it will compensate Dayton Flyers men's basketball players for endorsements. So there you go. That's pretty cool. We were waiting to see what that first domino would look like when it would fall. I don't know how much. I don't know all the details, but that's why Brian's going to come on and we're going to chat with the former Flyer coming up here in a moment. I love it. I love seeing former Flyers, former athletes give back to the current athletes. Brian didn't sit there and go, oh, how come I couldn't get paid? No, he said, okay, I'm going to give back to the athletes now. They can get paid now, so we'll take care of them, right? Like, that's what you do. You don't have to be a Reggie freaking Bush and, I didn't get paid. We'll be back in a moment.
It's Office Meds.
Oh, yeah, it is. I forgot.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps is celebrating the sunshine with a bunch of fresh new menu choices, from pizzas to salads to subs. See all the creative flavors in store for you right now at milanosubs.com.
Now at Menards, save big money in your next project with 11% off everything. Dirt, dust, and grime don't stand a chance against the Generac Speed Wash Pressure Washer. The 3100 PSI gas pressure washer saves you time and effort while delivering maximum cleaning performance. Bring back the shine with Generac. All 11% off now at Menards. Good through July 4th. Savings are mail-in rebates. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
The Meyer Distribution Center in Tip City is hiring for warehouse positions in all units, which includes flexible schedules, best-in-class benefits, enhanced starting wages, and a $500 signing bonus. Interested candidates should call 937-669-9109 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., Monday through Friday. Walk-in interviews are strongly encouraged, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 937-669-9109 for an interview or apply online at jobs.meyer.com. Meyer is the equal opportunity employer.
Over the past year, I've helped thousands turn their lives around. And today, I'm going to tell you the one simple trick that will change everything. All you have to do is...
And now a message from our sponsor.
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat, RV, or other outdoor vehicle for great protection and even more savings. Progressive.
And that's it. You'll have that for the rest of your lives. I'm so excited for you.
Progressive. There's never a bad time for great protection. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Get more out of summer when you get more from the Home Depot and trusted brands like Behr Paint. Beat the summer heat by taking on a paint project indoors and keep things cool with 4th of July savings on paint and all the supplies you need. We're making sure now is the perfect time to give your home a refresh. How cool is that? 4th of July savings only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Rittal North America, LLC in Urbana will be hosting on-site walk-in interviews every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Plus, Rittal will be at Urbana University for the Champaign County Career Fair on July 10th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Please come out to see us and enjoy the added activities of food trucks, live music, and autograph signing by former Ohio State Buckeyes. Rittal has immediate openings seeking experienced welders, machine operators, paint unloaders, and paint loaders. Rittal is proud to be an affirmative action and equal opportunity employer.
Welcome to another episode of Ask Tomorrow. I'm your host, Tomorrow. Better sleep makes for a better me, and Casper's Cooling Collection has everything hot sleepers need to keep cool all night long, like the Wave Hybrid Snow Mattress for over 12 hours of cooler sleep. Okay, next caller.
Hi, Tomorrow. I need to break up with my boyfriend. Any suggestions?
Get him a breathable mattress protector. It helps hot sleepers stay cool.
I think I'll just go with flowers.
Yeah, none of my exes appreciated the mattress protector either. Casper, love your tomorrow.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6, leaving the light on for the homebody, who now would rather be an anywhere but homebody after spending 12 months stuck at home with nobody but themselves. Well, Motel 6 has plenty of clean, comfortable rooms, all at a great low rate. So when you decide to visit somebody, anybody, anywhere else but your home, Motel 6 will be waiting. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Everything you want to hear is on Audible. Stream the bestsellers and the newest hot releases, and stream originals and podcasts too. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kinner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
Oh, what? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Former Dayton Flyer, Dayton Flyers men's basketball Hall of Famer Brian Roberts. He's going to be calling in here in just a few moments. We're going to chat about his role that he is playing in the latest name, image, and likeness opportunity for the current Dayton Flyers men's basketball players. Again, former UD star Brian Roberts involved in contract that will have athletes endorsing a rental property near campus. So this is pretty cool. Already an opportunity. I don't know how much. I don't know how much detail he's going to go into. But I'm curious about the details of like what point you decide you wanted to be a part of this. You know, what benefits do you see from this? I mean, obviously we know the benefits, but I'm curious from a business owner standpoint. And he knows the value better than anybody of this. And by the way, this is the thing too. Everyone acts like Duke basketball, North Carolina, that Kentucky, that those are the schools that only those athletes are going to. We got to stop acting like that because we know how even at Dayton, who is a very good example of a program that's not in one of the not one of the blue bloods of college basketball. These athletes are going to make bank here because this community supports Dayton Flyers basketball like you wouldn't believe. So it's a huge opportunity, and that's why it's no surprise that on day one, that name, image, and likeness takes, that they can profit off that. You already have athletes at UD already in position to make some money. So pretty cool. Brian Roberts, Dayton Flyers Hall of Famer, joins us next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
O'Reilly. When it's a warm day and your car's AC is blowing hot air, you need some relief. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and talk to our professional parts people about AC Pro refrigerant recharge kits for your vehicle. Buy now and you'll get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate. Keep cool this summer with AC Pro refrigerant at O'Reilly Auto Parts, in store or at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get more out of summer when you get more from the Home Depot and trusted brands like Behr Paint. Beat the summer heat by taking on a paint project indoors and keep things cool with 4th of July savings on paint and all the supplies you need. We're making sure now is the perfect time to give your home a refresh. How cool is that? 4th of July savings only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
You know, a few days ago while hanging out with my family, I noticed my father staring blankly at me. Something's not right, I thought. Is he having a stroke? Then I remembered to act fast, F-A-S-T, and did this quick test. F, face. I asked my father to smile. One side of his face drooped. A, arm. I asked him to lift both arms. No problem there. S, speech. I asked him to repeat a phrase. His speaking was slurred. T, time. I called 911 for immediate help. This way, he began receiving life-saving treatment.
WNG 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
The Reds are on the radio.
Line drive, left center field. Herrera on the run. Ain't going to get it. Nobody's going to get it. That is a grand slam for Nick Castellanos.
Nick Castellanos' blast sealed the deal as the Reds won the make good of the early June rainout with the Philadelphia Phillies. Up next, it's 3 against the Padres. Hear all the action on your home of the Reds.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight. Apply today at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Don't wait to get a new job. Express Employment Professionals is hiring for more than 35,000 jobs. Find your local Express office at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app.
The Reds are on the radio.
Every hit, every strikeout, every Reds victory. You can catch all of the action all season long right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
We're live. We're local. We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
All right, welcome in, everybody. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Happy Thursday. About said Friday, but it's a Thursday, unfortunately, but a good day nonetheless. Hope everyone's had a great day. And again, we talked about it, name, image, and likeness. Today is the very first day moving forward that college athletes can officially begin making money off of their name, image, and likeness. And joining us now to talk about that, these opportunities for today's current college athletes, as well as, today's current Dayton Flyers, especially on the men's basketball side of things. We have former Dayton Flyer Hall of Famer Brian Roberts with us. Brian, welcome in. I appreciate your time today.
Hey, no problem.
Hey, so this is a very cool ordeal that just was announced a little bit ago, a project you're involved in again. So moving forward, name, image, likeness, athletes can begin making money off of that. Before we get into the project you're with, just talk about what that means for college athletes today and how much would that have meant to you? What would you have been able to do during your playing days, as big of a star as you were then and still are now amongst the Flyer faithful? How big of a deal is this for athletes moving forward, and how big of a deal would it have been for you back during your playing days?
Yeah, I'm happy for these guys. It's an exciting time for, all student athletes to be able to, take advantage of this in the right ways. And, for me, I wish it was something like this back in 2008, because, it's not even just about, the money. That's a little part of it, but it's also cultivating, networking relationships, getting involved in the business community without, having to worry about, oh, am I doing this? Am I doing this wrong? Is this illegal? So, this is just a great, step, I think, for these athletes to engage in the community, and for the community to engage with these athletes as well.
Now, with you being involved with Flyer Faithful LLC, which, again, you purchased real estate, which includes the field house, a bar on Brown Street, as well as some other rental properties around Brown Street. That was a pretty cool business venture that was announced back in 2020. At what point did you really start thinking about, okay, looking at the opportunities coming out for name, image, and likeness for today's college athletes? At what point did you look at that and say, hey, there's going to be an opportunity there for your business venture, along with the personal interest of the players as well?
Right. Yeah. So getting involved with that was kind of the initial step for me to, get back into the Dayton community. But, I kept not a close eye, but I monitored this whole name, image, likeness legislation as it, kind of evolved and it was starting to get more momentum. So I think over the last, couple of weeks, me and, some of the guys in the group, guys like Matt Farrell, we kind of just talked and thought of different ways that, we could, potentially, help out and be involved. And I thought, me being a former player, I thought, it was a good thing, and it'd be cool for me to, kind of help these guys who, I was in these guys' shoes, not that long ago. Well, at this point, it is kind of long. I was
going to say, 2008 didn't seem like that long ago, but it does now.
No, it does. It really does. So, it just was, I thought it'd be cool to find a way to make this thing work. And, that's where we're at right now.
Now, especially with picking up momentum as of late, the name, image, and likeness debate. Was that something that back in your playing days that you just felt like very restricted? It was just the norm, right? It was just part of, okay, we can do this, we can't do this. When you look at the momentum that it picked up, which led to the pressure of it finally being passed to where these guys can make money off of their name. Thinking back to when you played, was there ever any talk amongst you and your teammates, whether it be in AAU in high school and all the way on to college and even the pros, that you're like, man, we should have been able to make money off of our name? Like, when did that really become a sticking point for you?
I think when someone, kind of brought it up, but like when I was playing, it's just what it was. It's just what it was.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't, sitting here, man, I wish we could do this or do that. It's just, that was the time, and that just, how things were done. So it really wasn't a thought in my mind to the point where I'm like, man, we need to do something, until, somebody kind of brought up the idea of that. And, it got some momentum in the news, and, obviously there were lawsuits and, things going on legally that, made it more in the public, that maybe college athletes should be able to, at some point get some money or some compensation for what they do for these universities. So, when I was playing, I really didn't think about it, but, at this point, it's like, I think it makes sense. I want to be able to help these guys, not only financially, but, in any capacity, whether it's, getting in the business community when they're done playing or whatever, I just want to be a resource for these guys. Cause like I said, I was in their shoes, so I know what it's like, you know what I mean? So, That's kind of where I'm at in my thought process on the whole thing.
Former Dayton Flyers great Hall of Famer Brian Roberts with us here on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Brian, we hear a lot of people say, well, this is really, it's not going to benefit all athletes. It's only going to benefit the Dukes and the Kentuckys and the Kansases of the world. It's not going to help the smaller schools. I'm not saying Dayton's like a small school, because you look at the resources, the facilities, and the passion of the fans. But do you believe that, not so much from a UD angle, but do you believe that that's the case, that this is only going to benefit those bigger schools, or is this an example right here, right off the bat on day one, of athletes being able to make money off their name, image, and likeness, that this is going to be spread around all sports and all sizes?
Yeah, I think it can be. I think it comes down to the community in which these colleges are located in. Obviously, you look at the big time schools, like you said, Duke, Kansas, and all those. That's probably easier for them to have opportunities to take advantage of this. But for schools like Dayton or any school, it's all about the community. And I think no matter the size of the school, if you can get everybody on board to help these college athletes, which will in turn help these local businesses or whatever the case may be, and helping the university at large, it all kind of works together. So I think it puts more of the onus on people around these universities to somehow engage in a way that they can take advantage of it.
You talked about engagement and everything like that, but also the education for the student athletes and everything like that. What are you guys doing to make sure you guys are putting them in the best position to educate themselves, not to take bad deals, quote unquote, be on the up and up? And are you guys teaming up with the university as well?
Yeah, I think, as this starts to become more clear, it's so early in the process, I think I wanted to be, kind of one of the first ones to get involved, just so I can, be a resource, like I said, not only just with the financial part, but, if in any avenue, whether it's understanding the business side of things or just networking and connecting, these guys in more of a, not a fan player, kind of relationship, but, kind of a business relationship, and just getting them exposed to that. If that's an avenue that these guys want to explore, I'm open to that. But, it's still early on to kind of see where this can go. But, I think it's moving in the right direction, obviously. And, I wanted to be one of the first ones to kind of help out.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, pretty exciting. We were sitting here saying, okay, July 1st, first day that these guys can make money off their name, image, likeness. We were sitting back waiting for, okay, what's the first deal we're going to see? And it's pretty cool that it's tied in with the former Flyer being yourself. I think that's pretty cool. But what is entitled with this, Brian? Is it through one or two athletes in particular? Is it the team as a whole? How is this deal? Is it distributed through UD? Is it like a UD deal? Is it with the players individually? And what will their responsibilities, what will their services be in exchange for the profit, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so we have a kind of a social media kind of contract with any of the players that want to jump on board. It's just to kind of get their feet wet with this stuff. It's posting some things on their social media concerning the real estate ventures that we have with the Flyer Faithful, and being able to put that out there and just get that out there that we have some real estate available, apartments and stuff like that. So I think right now that's the initial thinking and thought process behind these contracts that we're sending out to the players.
So again, are you when you set this deal up, is it through the athletics department? Is it through what is it with UD, the players individually? It sounds like it's more like of a UD centric deal with the access to the players, correct?
Right.
Okay, cool. And that's what we're curious of how that was going to work directly and everything. So this is pretty neat, pretty excited about it. Excited that you, being a former Flyer, the one that really opened the door for the first business venture with these athletes. I think that's pretty cool. And Kevin, we just need 1 or 2 more minutes of your time. We'd be really angry if we couldn't ask you an NBA playoff question or two, because I'm pretty sure you're watching like all of us.
Yeah, I'm checking it out for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, you had that relationship with Monty Williams. He was your coach earlier in your career back with the Pelicans. Talk about your relationship with him and how he's able to communicate with young players.
Listen, I mean, I owe a lot to, that man. He's an instrumental part of, me as not only a player, but as a person. To have him as my first coach in the NBA, I mean, you can ask any of the players that have played under him. He's just such a stand-up guy, and he's just a high-character person. So I'm super happy for him and what he's done, obviously, in Phoenix there. And, it's something that I'm proud to see him at that level and see what he's done, because I know the type of person he is and how he coaches young men, not only just as players, but, as people. So it's a joy to watch, him. And I'm looking forward to seeing him, in the finals and watching that team, because he's done a hell of a job with that team, obviously. And him and TP getting back together, player coach, they've done some special things, obviously. So I owe him a lot, as far as my career and where it has progressed. So, he means a lot to me.
Awesome. Now, it looks like it's a complete war of attrition, especially in the Eastern Conference, with Giannis not playing tonight, Trae Young still questionable. Who are the Phoenix Suns going to play in the finals, man?
I think it's Milwaukee. I think, Milwaukee will find a way to get the job done. I know Atlanta's hot, and it's hard to go against a team like that who's playing so well, kind of the underdog role. But I think Milwaukee will find a way to get to the finals, and it'll be Phoenix, Milwaukee.
Nice. Now, one last question, man. If Patrick Beverly would have pushed you like he pushed CP3 last night, would have been your reaction?
Hey, if I was playing as well as Chris Paul was playing last night, I would have laughed too. I'd have been like, all right, go ahead. That just means I got in your head. That means, that was the white flag right there.
Facts.
So I would have been like, you know what? It's over. That was it. I'm going to the finals after that.
But that's so weak, though, because, again, the series is done. He can't – well, he maybe could be suspended heading into next regular season, but no one's thinking that far. You're just pissed off because your team just lost or whatever. But that was weak. And on Twitter, he apologized and said that, hey, that wasn't meant for you. What do you mean that wasn't meant for you? You shoved him to the ground with his back to you. I mean, that was ugly.
Smoke was
real. That was definitely meant for one person and one person
only. Like, come on now. Hey, Brian, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. If you don't mind, give us this. So without revealing too much, when can we expect to start seeing some of these promotions on these players' social medias moving forward? Is there a plan for that yet, or was this just laying the groundwork to come up with that strategy moving forward?
Yeah, like I said, we're finalizing, getting these contracts and everything, in order and everything. So I'd expect, some posts maybe in the next couple of weeks. That's kind of the timeline. I think it's safe and fair.
All right, sounds like a plan. Actually, this is so you said the Bucks are getting to the finals. Are the Bucks beating the Suns, or the Suns beating the Bucks? And again, assuming and hoping that Giannis is healthy, of course.
Yeah, at that point, Phoenix, Milwaukee. I'm going to say Phoenix makes it happen, man. Phoenix just shocks the world and takes it, I think.
All right, good stuff. Hey, Brian, take care. Best of luck moving forward. I think this is awesome what you're doing, and I know the community appreciates it, the Flyers appreciate it, and hey, the players appreciate it. They love that. So there you go.
For sure.
All right,
take care. No question. Thank you, guys.
Yep, take care. All right, that was Brian Roberts, Dayton Flyers Hall of Famer. Appreciate him hanging out with us here for a little bit. If you tuned in the middle of that, want to catch all of it, we'll have that posted for you coming up here following the show. But I thought that was neat. We were waiting for that first domino to fall. Okay, they can start making money today. That's super. But what's going to be that first deal? Still some, got to read between the lines a bit as far as what this exactly is. I know it's to promote some available real estate. Now, keep in mind, there are restrictions. Like some of this real estate too is the field house. It is a bar, but again, that's why I think it's more about the social media side with promoting available, rentals from the sound of it. Like this isn't going to be I mean, look, the fish bowls. I mean, there's some. Look, I just don't think that the players are going to be promoting that side of it, and I don't think that they can, and I don't think that that's what this is going to be. Even though Fieldhouse is a part of that, and they've done a good job of kind of resurrecting that as well. So that's pretty cool. I don't think it's going to be a bar-oriented thing. This is going to be for those rental properties, of course. But I like that. I love right away, Kev, that the first thing you see is a former player, not just giving back, but also putting these players in position. But this is what I mean, though. This is why I was curious. Is it going to be handled one-on-one with the players? Are you going to go through the school? Is that how all deals have to be cut? Like, that's what I'm going to be curious to see moving forward, is what the different levels of opportunities, whether it's something as simple as this, where it sounds like all the athletes can make money off of this. I'm not sure. I don't know. But pretty cool stuff from Brian right there.
Yeah, man. I know they're still working on the details, like you said, finalizing the contracts and everything like that. It's a work in progress. I know a lot of people out there want to see, all right, them on commercials tomorrow and see how it's going to happen tomorrow. Everybody's learning as they go. So there's going to be some bumps in the road. There's going to be some mishandling of things early on until people get a better understanding of what works, what doesn't work, how things are going to roll out. But I'm excited for the players. I'm excited for the businesses as well. They're getting a chance to brand themselves with athletes and get their businesses out there even more. So it's going to be a win-win for everybody. When businesses make money, people make money, the government makes money. It's a big circle.
Man, the athletes are out of control. The hell's wrong with them?
I sound like somebody we know, don't I? Talking about money like that, right?
Who? Oh, yeah. No kidding. I have a question. This is a teaser. What does Urban Meyer, Kyle Shanahan, and Mike McCarthy all have in common? They've all already broken the rules. We'll discuss when we come back.
Uh-oh. Urban Meyer breaking rules.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 80. Tonight will be partly cloudy, a low near 62, and tomorrow will be mainly clear, a high near 80. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
At Lowe's, we think July 4th reunions are better with a little flair. Get select 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals, 3 for $12, and select bagged mulch at our new lower price, starting at $2.88 per bag. Make your home look festive today. The summer savings continue this July 4th, so stop by Lowe's in-store or online. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, annuals offer in-store only. Actual plant size, selection, and product availability varies by location. Valid 6/24 through 7/7. U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
This is a big deal. Now, at healthcare.gov, millions more people can afford health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as August 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps' new summer menu is the perfect pairing to the Big on Tap beer selection. Try your favorite craft beer with a bacon cheddar cheese steak or a new Milano's Pizza choice. See the summer menu now at milanosubs.com.
Enjoy a powerful business upgrade with Dell Technologies Black Friday and July event. Get amazing savings with up to 50% off high-performance computers and tech built for business, and be able to take your office with you with Windows 10 Pro. Plus, get great offers on Dell servers, monitors, docks, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL, and speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today.
My stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol Chews.
Pepto-Bismol's in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Ooh, let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol Chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Get more out of summer with 4th of July savings from the Home Depot. Right now, Earth Grow mulch is just 3 bags for $10. Spread that mulch around your flower beds, trees, and garden. You'll be proud and your plants will be protected. Boost your curb appeal with Earth Grow mulch at the everyday low price of 3 bags for $10. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Limit 75 bags per customer. Color selection varies by store while supplies last. Not available in all stores. Continental U.S. only.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches, weakness, or discomfort in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 selling nerve care company. Nervive contains alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, and B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live your life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
Don't wait to get a new job. Express Employment Professionals is hiring for more than 35,000 jobs. Find your local Express office at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app.
You want more local content from Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM? Make sure you subscribe to the WING 1410 Dayton YouTube channel, where you can watch all your local shows live or go back and rewatch previous episodes of The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, The Keith Byers Show, Talking Out Loud with Sully, and more. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, so Urban Meyer already breaking rules in the National Football League. And to be fair, I don't really know the exact rules that he has technically broken. But himself, along with Kyle Shanahan and Mike McCarthy, were all fined a pretty decent chunk of change. Now, to us, it's a decent chunk of change. To multimillionaires, this is kind of like a slap on the wrist. But the 49ers, Kev, were fined $100,000. Mm-hmm. The Jaguars were fined $200,000. And the Cowboys were fined $100,000. So the Cowboys were fined $100,000. Mike McCarthy was fined $50,000. 49ers were fined $100,000. And Kyle Shanahan was fined $50,000. And then whatever Urban did, he did it twice as much as the other two because the Jaguars were fined $200,000 and Urban Meyer was fined $100,000. You know how many good players at Ohio State he could have got for that much money? I'm telling you. But $100,000 he was fined already. But I'm just laughing because those three coaches and teams all got fined the same amount, except the Jaguars and Urban got fined double what the other two did. Not really sure what they did. Maybe it'll come out at some point, but this was just from Adam Schefter. Literally, it came out in the middle of our interview with Brian Roberts. But interesting. And Urban making friends already. Good for him.
It's a lot of money, man. That is a lot of money. I'm not sure where the NFL fine money goes. I know in the NBA, when players are fined, it goes to the NBA Cares and other charities and things of that nature. I'm curious to find out where the fines from the NFL go, because that is a lot of money.
So they were organized team activity violations.
Aha.
See, if they just would have done what the Bengals did, not have them, then he would be $100,000 richer right now. Think of all
trying to win games.
Think of all the money Zach. See, that's the thing. You got other coaches who are being fined for doing too much during OTAs, and then you got boobs like Zach Taylor who are like, you know what? Y'all just take the week off. We fine. We've only won 6 games in 2 years. We'll only go up from here, right? Like, that's what's amazing, is that Urban Meyer is being fined $100,000 for breaking rules all through OTAs, and then here's Zach Taylor saying, you know what? We all got better today. Who needs tomorrow? Go home. Unbelievable. Yeah, I guess it was just OTA violations nonetheless, but interesting as far as that goes. So, but yeah, this name, image, likeness, we're done with it for now. Thought it was interesting. It's going to be fun keeping an eye on it. I'm really, now that we've seen the first deal done already with Brian Roberts and Flyer Faithful LLC, and again, all he basically, for those of you who missed the interview, we'll have it posted here shortly, but just basically saying that it's going to be the usage of the player's social media. I'm going to go through and see how many Twitter, Instagram followers these dudes have and all that stuff, but like, I don't know. Some of the details were vague in there, and that's probably because I don't have all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. Right. So I wasn't going to pry too much. I just really wanted to hear his thoughts on, why now, why jump on this right away? Because some businesses, I'm curious, what's the right play here? Jump in now or sit back and let it play out? If you're a business, what do you do here? The other thing, I think football will benefit from football players will make more than basketball, I think, because the real big names in basketball are going to be one and done guys, right?
Right.
And I think the transfer portal will work against the players who are trying to get some money on this, because if I'm a player at Dayton 1 year, I could transfer the next year. Mm-hmm. So this, I don't think you're not going to see a multi-year deal, I guess. This is just going to be a year-by-year basis. I think businesses, it would be smart if you're going to get in a contracted situation with players. I'm sure these businesses aren't dumb, but they're going to have to account for the fact that the transfer portal just, absorbs these kids left and right. So it's not going to be multi-year deals. It'll just probably be a 2021 athletics contract, maybe, or something. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious how it's going to work.
But the thing about it is, you're right, but also we got to think about it. Social media, it don't matter where you at. You could post from your parents' house in New York City. You can post on spring break down in Miami. You can post from your dorm room. It really don't matter. Like, it's say, I don't know. Okay, just Loud and Love. Say he's like decides like, all right, man, I want to transfer to a bigger school and everything like that. But like, hey, man, he's still a fan favorite here. In Dayton, Fairborn.
Fairborn.
So, like, if somebody wants to, like, still, like, hey, man, I'm still connected to that community, they want to throw him a couple bucks for posting on his Instagram from whatever school he's at next, potentially. I don't see a problem with that.
I'll be honest, like, as much as I love Wright State, I even know that team it's cracking back into the community. I still don't think it's there yet to where the relationship is there yet. It has grown big time since Scott Nagy has taken over. That's a school I'll be interested in to see what kind of paths they can create here. There's opportunities there, but there's no secret about it. UD, it's going to be way easier for them because the brand is just bigger and stronger, and it's more entrenched into the community.
Sure.
And from the national exposure that the program has had as well, and you look at all the big time recruits coming in. But here's an article I read today, and I'm going to pass this on to you here in a bit. It's from The Athletic. Apparently Nike, remember I told you about this the other day. Remember UCLA? Remember the UCLA and Under Armour cut ties last summer? Everyone thought it was because of COVID. Nope. That's not why that happened.
Performance?
No, because Nike is about to pretty much get in bed with the entire Pac-12.
Smart move.
And it's very smart. And what it's doing is they're going to go to every Pac-12 school, theoretically, and say every time you sign a player, they're going to get X amount of they can get X amount of a signing bonus, and it's going to come from that particular company. And
a brand and a shoe brand bigger than Nike.
So, but you know what? You know why Nike's smart is because Nike's like, okay, we can go to these players individually and create these backdoor contracts, and then have to deal with UCLA, who's going to be like, yeah, but we have this deal with blah 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 blah. UCLA is sitting there saying, yeah, you know what though? We want to be in bed with Nike because now we're going to benefit. We're going to get extra money from Nike. And on top of that, these players are going to get the money from Nike, and they're going to be sporting the Nike gear. They're going to be doing this. So I don't know. I'm curious, it should have an impact on recruiting, right?
Oh,
it should keep the West Coast players west. It should be able to keep guys like Nick Saban and now Ryan Day, who I'm officially putting in that category from a recruiting standpoint with Dabo and those guys. These guys should most likely stay home more. You would theoretically think. I thought it was interesting. But I thought when I read that article, I thought Under Armour dumped them.
That's what I was under the impression of. I thought Under Armour wanted out of the contract because of it's kind of hard to say bad performance because I'm trying to think of a well-performing Under Armour team outside of Auburn. The rest of the Under Armour teams like Maryland. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Regardless, I thought it was about performance. That's what I thought it was about. And they were trying to get out of the contract with UCLA. But looks like Nike is trying to.
But you could have UCLA could have been doing things behind the scenes too to lead to this. I don't know. I thought they were actually suing. This is why I'm confused on this article, and I'll have to have you read through it. I'll send it to you here in a second. But the bottom line is that's going to happen. These schools will go to Nike and others. They're going to absorb some of these schools that are, through these shoe brands or whatever, not shoe brands, but just these apparel brands or whatever. And I think that's going to be a thing. And it's smart. That's why, so from a very tiny, scale here, Brian Roberts, with what we just talked about, he's going through the school. He's going through the athletics program, right? So that's a deal with Dayton basketball. So it's going to be a win-win for both sides. Whatever money that Brian Roberts and his party have spent, I'm assuming that's going to the school, and it's going to be trickled down to the players at the same time. That's a small scale example of what Nike would be doing across the board with all the Pac-12 schools, which is very smart. And when you want to talk about, okay, do you want to go across the country to play at Ohio State, which you'll have money-making opportunities there, or Nike, and there's going to be a ton of perks of playing here because now it's not just that you're wearing the cool Nike gear, because that was kind of the perks before. Look at all the apparel you get. Look at all the X whatever you get. Now it's going to be the money that can be trickled down from Nike.
Yeah, it's a lot of opportunities. And remember, I was talking about Mackenzie Milton and De'Aaron King. So this is what they just said on ESPN. Just past midnight, Mackenzie Milton and De'Aaron King signed on as co-founders of Dreamfield. The NIL-based platform will primarily focus on live booking events for student athletes, including autograph signings, meet and greets, speaking engagements as well. So yeah, not only are these young athletes have the opportunity to, make money off their name, image, and likeness, but, starting businesses, that's cool. Young people starting businesses, that's what it's about. Young people made Instagram, young people made Twitter. So with young people coming up with new ideas and new ways to make money, that only makes the world better. That only makes more money for everybody. So I think it's going to be situations like this. I think it's going to be situations where they're able to create a platform for themselves and say, hey, you can get on this site and say, hey, man, I'm going to be in this place at this time. You got any places that I can come and do an autograph signing to make a couple bucks? You do it. You get paid, you keep it pushing. I really think this is the wave of the future, and it only can help everybody involved, man. Like I said in hour one, with the ability, we love sports, but nobody loves merch more than the college football fan. I got autographed football from Jim Tressel. I got an autograph plaque from Troy Smith. I got a ton of that type of stuff. And that stuff goes for big money, man. Like, imagine the type of money that Troy Smith could have got after that game versus Michigan. Or imagine he flies into Columbus the day after he wins the Heisman Trophy. Like, he could have been getting legal money, hand over fist. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is so cool for
illegal
these guys.
money spends the same too.
Not taxed.
Illegal money is more money.
I think it's just so cool, man. It's so cool that, you know, people are getting paid. And I just don't understand the mindset of people just angry at this situation. Like, I don't get it. I don't get how you could be mad at somebody for getting money. Like, you know what I'm saying? You and I kind of differ on, you know, the actual schools that are NCAA giving them money or paying them. Okay. That's a debatable thing. I never thought this was debatable. Your name that was given to you by your parents. Like, you telling me I can't use my own name? Like, that's crazy to me. You mean I can't use my own face? Like, that's crazy to me. So now that this rule is in place and they're quote unquote allowed to do it, I'm all for it. I'm happy for all these young people. You know, get that money, man.
All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. On the other side, Joey Votto made history last night. And, you know, he's making it very hard for me to be critical of the old first baseman. He's playing like old Joey Votto, not old Joey Votto. He's playing like old Joey Votto. But what a career milestone last night, and a record-setting performance last night that did not result in the Reds win. The Reds cannot beat the Padres. So the other day, I predicted that the Reds, when we did our over-under, and they had the 1 game with the Phillies and the 3 game with the Padres, you said over-under 1.5 wins for the Reds. So I might be right on this. I said they would win 1 of the next 4, and I've never been more angry to be right in my life. Game 3 tonight against the Padres.
Got to win tonight.
They have to win tonight because, again, the Brewers won last night, and the Brewers kicked the Cubs' ass. So there's a lot of things happening right now. The Brewers are not only winning while the Reds are losing, the Brewers are winning while beating the Cubs in second place, pushing them down and just creating even more of a gap between them and the Cubs. Like, I'm a Cubs fan right now because we needed the Cubs to take care of business against the Brewers, and the Cubs have just been getting bludgeoned. The only thing that this does for the Reds is that the Cubs getting bludgeoned with just a couple weeks before the All-Star game, and, you know, we're officially 30 days away from the trade deadline. The Cubs are going to be open for sale here shortly. Mm-hmm. So that roster will be gutted. The Pirates are the after of what the Cubs before is, so that's going to be the thing to keep in mind. So they're out of the equation. The Cardinals, they're like the Reds. They're just average. The difference between the Reds and Cardinals, the Reds can hit the hell out of the ball, and the Cardinals cannot, even though they have a couple nice solid hitters in that lineup. They just have more reliable pitching. I mean, if you take the Reds hitting with the Cardinals pitching, they're winning. That combination right there wins this division, hands down. But we'll be back in a moment. We'll talk about Joey Votto's record-setting performance last night, and that sets up a big one tonight, Game 3. The Reds trying to avoid being swept by the Padres for the second time in the last 3 weeks. Trying to avoid it at Great American Ballpark. Rain cut the game short last night, but the result's still the same, an L, and the Reds continue to drop in the games back category within the standings. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine, when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
The City of Moraigne's Star Spangled Boom is on Sunday, July 4th. The fun begins at 6 p.m. with amusement rides, games, and food trucks. There will be live music by the area's favorite band, The Menus. They hit the stage at 7:30 p.m. And the new low-profile fireworks show will start at 10. The best spot to view them is Wax Park, 3800 Main Street in Moraine.
Life hacks. What would life be without them? Like using candle wax to loosen a stuck zipper. Here's another life hack. Now you can get the same high-quality insurance from Allstate, but at a new low rate. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit Allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Not available in every state. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Who doesn't want instant gratification? If you're looking for satisfaction, there's no need to wait. Credit Karma Money is a brand new checking account where you can win cash reimbursements for debit purchases. And when you make a purchase between July 1st and July 23rd, you'll be automatically entered to win $1 million. Go to creditkarma.com/winmoney. That's creditkarma.com/winmoney. Instant Karma sponsored by Credit Karma. No purchase necessary. Exclusions and terms apply. See rules. Banking services provided by MVB Bank Inc. Member FDIC. Maximum balance and transfer limits apply.
Allstate is known for quality insurance, but you might not know them for low rates. That's about to change. With Allstate, you can save up to 25% when you bundle your home and auto. You know what else you might not know? The chicken came before the egg. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company, and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is a big deal. Now, at healthcare.gov, millions more people can afford health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as August 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
You know, a few days ago while hanging out with my family, I noticed my father staring blankly at me. Something's not right, I thought. Is he having a stroke? Then I remembered to act fast, F-A-S-T, and did this quick test. F, face. I asked my father to smile. One side of his face drooped. A, arm. I asked him to lift both arms, no problem there. S, speech. I asked him to repeat a phrase. His speaking was slurred. T, time. I called 911 for immediate help. This way, he began receiving life-saving treatment in the ambulance. My father was out of the hospital in a few days, all because he made it to the hospital within an hour of his stroke. Practice recognizing the signs of a stroke so that you can act F-A-S-T, fast, to save a loved one.
This message is brought to you by the Ohio Department of Health's Covered L Stroke Program.
Many Vietnam War veterans were unknowingly exposed to dangerous chemicals impacting their health and quality of life. There are now expanded benefits for veterans exposed to Agent Orange. Veterans with Parkinsonism, bladder cancer, or hypothyroidism who previously applied for VA disability compensation but were denied should reapply and might be eligible for retroactive compensation. Exposed veterans who have not yet applied should consider filing a new claim. For assistance, call Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
The Meyer Distribution Center in Tip City is hiring for warehouse positions in all units, which includes flexible schedules, best-in-class benefits, enhanced starting wages, and a $500 signing bonus. Interested candidates should call 937-669-9109 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., Monday through Friday. Walk-in interviews are strongly encouraged, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 937-669-9109 for an interview or apply online at jobs.meyer.com. Meyer is the equal opportunity employer.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Don't wait to get a new job. Express Employment Professionals is hiring for more than 35,000 jobs. Find your local Express office at expresspros.com or on the Express Jobs app.
The Reds are on the radio.
Every hit, every strikeout, every Reds victory. You can catch all of the action all season long right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Well, the programs that have been the smartest about name, image, and likeness are the ones that, even if they maybe didn't agree with it, said they agreed with it. Like, I give Nick Saban credit, who was always out there. Athletes should be able to, we know he doesn't truly, it's not that he doesn't believe it, but I don't think that it's a topic he's losing sleep over. But the hill that he knows he can't die on is that restricting athletes from making money. That's not a good hill to die on when you're head coach of a program that you are known for getting NFL talent that, you know what I mean? So it was smart of him. Ryan Day did the same thing. Urban would have, I would assume, would have done the same. You have to. There was one particular coach who did not, who is now trying to pretend to be hip and cool with everything, right?
Does he have a real cool name?
Dabo.
Oh boy, I was going to bring that up myself, but I'm glad you did.
So it's Dabo Sweeney or Dabo's a weenie. I mean, I'm not really sure, but Dabo Sweeney is excited about Dabo Sweeney says he's excited about benefits of name, image, and likeness ruling for players. Really? Are you? Were you the same guy 2 years ago that said that, if it goes in that direction, you might as well go to the NFL? If you wanted to coach pros, you might as well go to the NFL? Well, you missed out on your opportunity to coach your dude, Trevor Lawrence, by not taking the Jaguars job and letting your boy Urban do it. So I call BS on this. So Darian Rencher, tailback for the Tigers, told the ACC network that Dabo is very excited. He kind of catches some things that get out of context, but he's excited for us to make most of the opportunity. He's equipping us with everything as much as they can to make sure. Look, he's equipping you guys with that because the athletics department is making him. Now, again, I don't believe that Dabo is going to try to do things to keep them, but I will be fair here to a certain extent. Because a year ago, I remember when that came out about that. I was agreeing with him. But again, I keep trying to do this, Kevin. I keep reminding people. I am very adamant that there's a big difference between NIL and schools paying you to play. Mm-hmm. I do not think schools should pay you to play. I will not go there. But if you're not going to pay them to play, you do need to give them a little bit more flexibility as far as, money making opportunities. And that's what today, moving forward, why today is such a historic day in that. Me and you, I think, disagree or are on the different sides on that. But that's okay. That could be the next part of this that's coming, I'm sure, right. Maybe. But Dabo is against that more so than the NIL ruling. I do know what he means by the context is being spun a little bit, because I did go back and read that. That was strictly about schools paying the athletes.
Yeah, you don't want his money taken away.
So, yeah, that's kind of where it comes down to as far as that goes. But, yeah, so Darian Rencher, his running back, came out in defense of him today on the ACC network. But I don't think he's excited about it by any means. But at the same time, I don't think he's trying to die on the hill of, no, I don't want my athletes making money. So.
Yeah, I'll just look at it like this, man. Everybody has to adapt. And, the guys, the actual players constantly have to adapt. And now the universities and the coaches are going to have to adapt a little bit. And that's fine. We've all had to adapt. Everybody that has a job has to adapt to new things, to new coworkers, new boss, COVID-19, working from home and everything like that. Everybody has to adapt. And this is another thing that we're going to have to adapt to. And, people are resilient, and people that are getting open arms about like, oh man, these kids making this type of money. Oh, what about this? What if he gets distracted? What if this happens? What if that happens? I think you're losing a lot of faith in people for their ability to adapt to new situations, man. People are going to be perfectly fine. Yes, there will be some bumps in the road and things to figure out and people to scold people and everything like that. But eventually things will work itself out. So, just bear with people, bear with the schools, bear with the student athletes, until they kind of like get their ducks in a row and see what's working and what's not working. They'll be fine. It'll be fine. College football is not going anywhere. People think that like, oh man, it's the end of college football. It's not going to be the same. It'll be perfectly fine. Everything will be okay. It'll just be a couple more young kids with some money in their pocket.
Which athlete again, today's the first day that they can. So which previous athlete would have made the most money? Again, right now it's hard to answer that without knowing how these players are going to be making this money, honestly. So if I had to guess, I believe Tim Tebow would have been the most profitable one. I believe, because that name, he hasn't played in over 10 years, and he's still one of the most popular college athletes of all time. His name was so big that he's still getting jobs and he had a nice, I forgot how long he was playing in the minors. We talk about it's been 8 years since he stepped foot out on the NFL field. You know why? Because the last 8 years he's been pursuing a Major League Baseball career. That's a long time in the minors. So, his name is so big that he was profitable for a minor league baseball team. They sold minor league packages, like not teams that did not have Tim Tebow on it. Away teams like Louisville and others were making Tim Tebow packages of don't miss the 8 times that Tim Tebow comes to town, and they were selling Tim Tebow packages.
Tebow night.
So I just believe that Tim Tebow, and I might be missing some obvious ones. It has to be football. Basketball players haven't been sticking around. If you really want to go back in the 90s, maybe we could do like Patrick Ewing or something like that. Michael Jordan was big at North Carolina. Michael Jordan is a god now because of the time of the NBA. His legacy, it started at North Carolina, but he became MJ in the NBA. So I don't think he would have. Am I missing someone? I think it's Tim Tebow.
I got 2 people that deserve to be mentioned at least: Matt Leinart and Vince Young. I say Matt Leinart because we forget how good Matt Leinart was at USC. He was going to be the number 1 pick if he didn't come out. If he came out as a junior, he came back for his senior year. Like, that's Los Angeles. Like, for that 4-year run, USC dominated college football in Hollywood, like Snoop on the sideline, like actors on the sideline. Like, that was a huge deal. And not to mention, like, the love he was getting, quote unquote, legally, just from being the quarterback of USC. So I think he would have been getting a lot of money out there. It's California. Then you got to look at Vince Young, his ability on the field, what he was able to do in that Rose Bowl championship game for the state of Texas. Like, you got your Texas A&Ms, you got your Baylors, you got your Houstons, but we all know that Texas runs that state. So I think those 2 guys probably would have been up there with Tebow as far as like, all right, bringing in a lot of bank. Because I
just don't think they're as popular as he is.
But the money in the state of Florida, the money in the state of Texas, like maybe the popularity of Tebow, but like the money, the oil money. Like that goes a long way. Hollywood, like that recognition. Now, yeah, I think Tim Tebow was far more popular than those guys, but just like the money that them dudes will be willing to give those guys, the money that I know that they got while they were in school, imagine what they could have did if it was legal.
Honestly, another name, Johnny Manziel. Woo. Sounds like he did okay for himself.
Yeah, think about that.
During that stretch.
Think about the money Johnny Manziel got. He, quote unquote, only won a Heisman, but Vince Young won a national championship in probably the greatest college football game of all time.
See, someone messaged Joe Burrow. Shut up. No, he doesn't even know how to be cool.
Joe Cool, man. Smokes cigars, man.
He looked like an awkward Macaulay Culkin walking up and down with his little sunglasses
on.
How
about this, though? What about this aspect? He's getting money down there. It would have got money down there at Louisiana for winning the national championship for LSU, but once a Buckeye,
always a Buckeye.
So he get money when he comes home to Ohio, goes down to Louisiana, gets a bag, maybe double dipping.
My gosh. You didn't think
of that.
No, but let's be clear. I was making my joke about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was a superstar for 1 year in college. Like if that, like, had Joe Burrow come in like Trevor Lawrence, like, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think Trevor Lawrence's popularity ever took off. I think he was the face of Clemson, obviously, and one of the faces of college football during his stretch. But I don't think he ever reached peak popularity. Like, how Vince Young, you talked about, Cam Newton. I don't even think Trevor's one of the most
personality.
Popular. But I guess he could have got one of them like Head and Shoulders type deals with that hair of his. But
I'm surprised he doesn't have one now.
Just give it to maybe Urban's working on it. That's what he got fined for. He got fined for not practicing because he's out trying to get his dude a hair deal. So, wow, hour 2's already in the books. We haven't even got to over under yet. Kev Nash can give us over under. I didn't even get into what I wanted to about Joey Votto and the Reds. So Joey Votto, historic night last night. We'll talk about that on the other side. It's a must-win game tonight, Game 3 between the Reds and the Padres. 7:10 the first pitch, 6:40 the pregame, right here on 1410 Wing AM. Joe Burrow didn't even play for OSU. He was at Ohio State. He never technically played for him. I don't think we said that. But no, Forrest. Oh, I know what he's saying. Forrest, so there's this joke Kevin and I have that when LSU won the national championship years ago, Buckeye fans did what drove me crazy. It was obnoxious, Forrest, when Buckeye fans tried to take credit for LSU's national championship. When Buckeye fans were posting pictures of Joe Burrow hoisting up the championship trophy and the Heisman Trophy, it's the journey started in Columbus and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, the whole journey as a whole, it culminated in him getting to that point, yes. And I'm not saying that there was no role at all that Ryan Day and Ohio State played, but stop. Ohio State had nothing to do with Joe Burrow's Heisman or his championship, so we got to stop that. So, Forrest, what we mean by that is once a Buckeye was a Buckeye, that's the excuse Ohio State kept trying to use, was trying to take advantage and play off of his success. So that's what drove me nuts.
Joe Burrow was born in Iowa. I don't hear Iowa claiming that national championship. I mean, the great people of Athens, Ohio, yeah, they can claim it because that's where he's from.
But the technicality that people, we graduated from Ohio State. What? But who cares? He had plenty of time. Not beating out the other guys to get the starting job at Ohio State. Then he wasn't very good his first year at LSU, and then all of a sudden something clicked, whether it was Joe Brady, Tom Brady, Jan Brady, it don't matter.
Steroids, not playing. I'm joking.
Kev, come on. Come on. I lost my train of thought. We were doing good on the time, too. It doesn't matter. Okay, so Joey Votto's kicking ass, man. I tell you what, historic night for him last night. Big pivotal game tonight. The Reds just trying to stop being buried in the standings. They're 8 games back. That's bad.
Scary hours.
That's 8 games back in the division. It's a must-win tonight as the Brewers continue to roll. We'll touch on that coming up. Plus, the lineup's out tonight. Remember we talked about Suarez? Mm-hmm. Sitting him for one game, what does that necessarily do? David Bell, what do you do with Eugenio Suarez tonight? Well, I have that answer for you. The lineup is out. Is Eugenio Suarez in the lineup tonight? Sitting him for one game, I don't know what that necessarily does. 2 games, 1 series, 2 series, the rest of the first half of the season. I'll tell you if he's in the lineup or not when we come back. Plus, Kev Nash will bring us over under, and we'll also have that Brian Roberts interview for you again coming up in hour number 3. Good stuff. Hour 3 coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Mr. Davis, how is your arm feeling?
Unfortunately, it hurts since the injury.
Well, let's see how we can safely manage your pain. You don't have a high risk for addiction, so let's talk about if pain meds are a good choice. Do you have any questions?
Aren't pain meds dangerous? How do I make sure I don't get addicted? How do I make sure my kids don't get a hold of the pills? Are there other ways I can get back to my normal activity besides pain meds?
Great questions. Let's talk about your options.
Talk to your doctor about safe pain management to ensure a healthy and happy recovery. Visit takechargeohio.org.
Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps' new summer menu is here. Fresh salads, house-made chicken salad subs, the pep and honey pizza, and more. Bring it home or dine on Milano's patio. See all your choices at milanosubs.com.
Hi, Pete Kasuja here to tell you that if you're looking for the very best selection of your favorite garden plants, we grow over 125 varieties of tomatoes, peppers, cabbage, broccoli, cucumbers, cantaloupe, and eggplants. And if you haven't tried our famous Neighbor Beater tomato and pepper plants, come out and pick up a few and enjoy the best taste you ever had from your garden. They taste so good you'll wish you planted more. And remember, Neighbor Beater garden plants are sold only at our garden center at 1309 Brant Pike. So get out that shovel and start digging. It's time for gardens, bedding plants, rose bushes, vines, ground cover, shade trees and shrubs, bird baths and fountains, and so much more. So join the Green Revolution and come out to see us at 1309 Brant Pike, where we're open 7 days.
It's Mattress Firm's 4th of July sale. For a limited time, save up to $500 on top-rated mattress brands like Sealy and Sleepy's.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. We're live. We're local.
What are you gonna miss? He struck him up.
We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Happy Thursday, the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Appreciate you listening in your car, whether you're driving around Kettering, Centerville, Fairborn, Beaver Creek, Springfield. It don't matter. We appreciate you listening no matter where you're listening from. I know that based on a couple comments and messages into the show, we have some people in Florida listening, so we always appreciate that. So that's always cool as well. Some people in Texas as well, 2 in LA. So shout out to everyone listening to the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Big travel weekend.
Sports Medicine. Huh?
Big travel weekend.
I mean, look, all my friends, I keep seeing all my friends, like, I don't know if you noticed, memories on Facebook are boring because a year ago, no one did anything. There was nothing to post. So, like, all the memories that keep popping up, I keep noticing when my memories pop up on Facebook, it's always from 2019. I'm like, well, damn, what did we do last year? I'm like, oh, yeah, nothing. We didn't do anything last year. I mean, there's only so many pictures of your animals you could post before that. So, there you go. But anyways, my ADD got the best of me. I already forgot where I was going with this. But the bottom line is, real quick, before we get to Kev Nash brings us over under. Cincinnati Reds last night lose to the Padres 7-5. It was the final after 6 innings. Weird weather just rolling through last night. I mean, it was just sheets of rain coming down, and the Padres win 7-5. Look, Gutierrez, another good outing for him. I like the kid. I think that this is something to build on. Look, I'm doing what all some Reds media do that drive me nuts, where they just find the silver linings and build up the silver linings and forget the fact that, you know, the deficiencies with this team, you know, it's bad. The pitching with this team. So last night they give up 7 runs. You score 5. You know, they're one of the leading run scorers in the league. The Reds are averaging just under 5 runs a game. They're right there at the top. I mean, you're not going to average any more than that. So you're at 5. You score 5 runs, you should win 8 of every 10. If you score 5 runs in 10 straight games, you should win 8 of those. But it's tough. The lineup's producing. Pitching is why they lost last night once again, and it's just unfortunate. Who knows how the game would have finished? I mean, it was the final after 6. You still had innings 7, 8, 9, but the weather was cold. Do you like that? I don't like that. They're playing again today. They could have picked up and finished that game today. The Reds just continue to get buried. But last night, Joey Votto, pretty cool, scored his hit in his 1,000th RBI. That's a lot. 1,000 RBIs.
And he dabbed.
Yeah.
I didn't know people were still doing that.
See, but cool. Good for him for trying, for trying, right?
Look at you being a softie.
You know, but with that loss last night, the Reds dropped to 39-40, back under 500. They also are now 4th in the NL Central. They are 8 games back. They're tied with the Cardinals. Actually, the Cardinals are 8 games back as well, but the Cardinals are 40-41. The Reds are 39-40. Both 8 games back. The Cubs are 6 games back. And it's weird because it feels like the Reds are playing good baseball right now, but they're not. They've won 4 of their last 6. They're a deceiving team. Don't they feel like they're playing good baseball, Kev? Maybe it's because we're talking so much. I mean, Votto's playing well. Jesse Winker, Nick Castellanos. Voting ended today in the All-Star game at 2:00. They could potentially take 2 of the 3 starting outfield spots for the National League. There's just a lot going for the organization that it feels like they're doing well. And then you look at the standings, it's like they're a game under 500. They're 8 games back. They've only won. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They've lost back-to-back. They're about to most likely get swept by the Padres for the 2nd straight time in 3 weeks. They're kind of a deceiving team. I feel like they're playing good baseball, and it's because they're playing better baseball than we're used to seeing them at this point of the season over the last 10 years. I don't get it. This Padres series has been brutal. I mean, they got Kansas City. They got the Cubs coming up this weekend. They got to take care of business in the division there. Then you got Kansas City, and then you close out with 4 against the Brewers. That's going to be a huge series right there as they try to take some momentum into the All-Star break. And really, I think that the fate of a lot of guys is, I mean, the Reds season's on the line here in the next couple of weeks, okay? July 11th. It's July 1st. So the next 10 days. The season is on the line the next 10 days. They're 8 games back already. I'm uncomfortable. I'm beyond uncomfortable when it comes to how far back the Reds are in the standings as we currently sit here. I don't like it. Not comfortable with it. I don't like that they have the Cubs coming up. And then, honest to God, that 4-game stretch at Milwaukee, that's their season. Splitting may not even be an option. Taking 3, You can't. I can't get a sweep. No one predicts a sweep. I tried the sweep guessing thing, and they split. Splitting is what they can hope for at the very least. They can't drop 3 or 4 to the Brewers. They're already 8 games back, 3 games at Great American with the Cubs coming up. Attendance has been awesome at Great American. It's been pretty cool, actually, watching attendance be what it is. It's been pretty neat. It's been loud, especially during the week. Attendance can be pretty bleak for games after the All-Star break if they do not perform well over the next 10 days. So I'm worried. I'm worried about the Reds right now. Real quick, you look at that. So Johnny Bench, 1,300 RBIs. Tony Perez, 1,100 RBIs. Pete Rose with 1,036 RBIs. Frank Robinson, over 1,000 RBIs. And then there's Joey Votto, who is officially with his 1,000th RBI. He's going to pass Frank Robinson. He's going to pass Pete Rose. I think he's not going to get to the 1,300 RBIs. Does he have? He doesn't have 13. There's no way. He doesn't have 3 RBIs. He doesn't have 300 RBIs left in him.
I don't think so.
I got to go back and see Votto's RBI totals the last couple of years and see how old is he? He's 37. He's playing really well right now. He really is. It's coming off the IL, the NIL. See, I got that stuck in my head. It's almost as if we've been talking a lot about that, but nonetheless. All right, Kev, we're going to step away for a few. You're going to bring us over under on the other side. Cool. We're mixing it up a bit, but Reds baseball tonight, it's a big one. The next 10 days, the Reds season, 162 games. It's all of that, whatever, big picture stuff, but really the season has shrunk down to the next 10 days. The Reds' playoff chances will be gone in the next 10 days, or they will rejuvenate their chances coming up here in the next 10 days. But I think tonight's a big one. You get swept by the Padres, I'm checking out. I'll just be honest with you. I'm checking out. You get swept by the Padres and then drop 2 or 3 to the Cubs, I don't care about the Kansas City series. That means you'd be double-digit games back. How quickly things can turn around. They were 2 games back 2 weeks ago. They're 8 games back right now, and I feel like they've played good baseball, and they haven't. It's disappointing. It really is.
You know what? The crazy thing is we need them for multiple reasons to stay in there. Obviously, for fans' sake. Secondly, we need something to talk about between now and NFL training camp. And thirdly, my over-unders, I need something. Because the over-unders are about to start struggling because there's only
we got the Olympics coming up.
There you go. There you go, Ken.
Fine.
Positive
fine.
There you go.
Okay, Kev, I've been doing that. I have yet to work here. I started the year that the Reds were good when I started. They had Cueto, they had Leak, they had Latos, they had those guys. And they were, I think, second in the NL Central heading into the All-Star break. And then they came out, and I can't remember, I think it was 13. They got swept by the Yankees coming out of the All-Star break, and they never recovered from that point on. And that's really what led to the fire sale from that point on. So I've yet to work here full-time, calling a season, doing a show during a season that the Reds are good. They're okay. They're solid. They're 500 right now. They technically made the playoffs last year. Will they make it again this year? I'm hoping. So we'll see. All right, we'll step away for a few. Kev Nash going to bring us over under on the other side. We'll start in the NBA. We have Major League Baseball on here. We will also get into a little college basketball on this as well. How about this? There's a big name from Illinois that just transferred out. His name's Coburn. That's not how I read his name. I'm glad that actually is his name because I would hate that.
The big man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go look up how he spells his name.
I know.
That's a horrible last name. I don't even think that Coburn is his actual name. I think that's what he just prefers to be called so that he's not called the other thing. The other thing you need a prescription for. We'll be back in a moment.
Take this dude nowhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 80. Tonight will be partly cloudy, a low near 62, and tomorrow will be mainly clear, a high near 80. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome guests back in with 4th of July savings at Lowe's. Get Valspar Signature Interior Paint and Primer starting at $32.98 per gallon. And with appliance savings today and every day, save up to $750 now on select major appliances. The summer savings continue this July 4th. So stop at Lowe's or buy online and pick up in store. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Paint pricing valid through 7/7/21. In-store must ask cashier to apply coupon. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Can't be combined with additional discounts. Exclusions apply. Valid through 7/14.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6, leaving the light on for families back on the road. Kids in suitcases, jammed in the back, earbuds tangled in the dog, heading to see Aunt Jasmine and her rock garden. Admit it, you missed this. And Motel 6 has been missing you. With our clean, comfortable rooms and great low rates, we've been giving families on the move the perfect roadside rest for almost as long as Aunt Jasmine's been putting rocks in her yard. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
The Reds are on the radio.
Line drive, left center field. Herrera on the run. Ain't going to get it. Nobody's going to get it. That is a grand slam for Nick Castellanos.
Nick Castellanos' glass sealed the deal as the Reds won the make good of the early June rainout with the Philadelphia Phillies. Up next, it's 3 against the Padres. Hear all the action on your home of the Reds.
Summer's here, and Rob's Beer Barn is in full summer refreshment mode. That means Rob's Beer Barn has you covered for all of your outdoor gatherings. At Rob's, you can find all the refreshments you'll need. Ice-cold craft beers, imported, local, and seasonal beers, fine wines, snacks, and ice. Rob's has it all. And if you find you're in need of any last-minute items, you can call, walk in, or drive through. Stop in and visit Rob's and stock up for the summer. Rob's Beer Barn on Indian River Road at Darst, just a mile east of the Green. Rob's Beer Barn, just look for the beaver.
I learned long ago, if you've got the right tools and a little know-how, you can do it yourself. And no wall of mine's gonna get some dime a dozen paint. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Premium performance from its smooth application to that tough, washable one-coat finish. It exceeds expectations of what makes great paint. Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Available exclusively at Menards.
Grammy award-winning folk band Old Crow Medicine Show and guitar-picking prodigy Molly Tuttle together live. 2 nights, Friday, August 13th at PNC Pavilion and Saturday, August 14th at Rose Music Center at the Heights.
Caroline, you do just fine.
Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Old Crow Medicine Show and Molly Tuttle live in Ohio this August.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part, Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit. Because shed happens.
Welcome guests back in with 4th of July savings at Lowe's. Get Valspar Signature Interior Paint and Primer starting at $32.98 per gallon. And with appliance savings today and every day, save up to $750 now on select major appliances. The summer savings continue this July 4th. So stop at Lowe's or buy online and pick up in store. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Paint pricing valid through 7/7/21. In-store must ask cashier to apply coupon. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Can't be combined with additional discounts. Exclusions apply. Valid through 7/14.
Get more out of summer with more from the Home Depot and 4th of July savings throughout the store and online. Whether you're ready to paint a wall, upgrade an appliance, fire up a new grill, or spread color throughout your garden, the Home Depot can help you match low prices with your high expectations for your next project. Whatever plans you have for your home, you can make this a summer to remember. With the Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Spark the savings at JCPenney's 4th of July sale now through Sunday. Get up to 50% off select furniture, mattresses, and window coverings during our home sale. Plus, save on hundreds of doorbusters across the store for the entire family. Save even more on select styles with an extra 25% off coupon. Celebrate every summer moment with JCPenney. Offers and coupon valid through 7/4. Doorbusters valid 7/1 through 7/4. Some exclusions apply. Furniture, mattresses, and window coverings limited to 10% off coupon. See store or jcp.com for details.
What if I told you you could save 50% off your monthly cell phone bill without sacrificing your service? This is Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst, and I'm talking about H2O Wireless. If you're with AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, you're just paying too much. Listen to this. You can get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 a month. That means the average person is probably saving $400 a year. You might use that to fund your emergency reserve fund or pay down some credit card bills or put some money in your retirement plan. And switching is so easy. You can keep your phone, keep your number. You just have to swap out your SIM card. You get the same great service you currently have, but at half the price. Right now, you can save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. That's pound 250 and say keyword get H2O to start saving today.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland & Summers. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on a Thursday. Show presented by Orion Sports Medicine. We talked about this earlier. Ex-USC star Reggie Bush really wanting his Heisman back, and he wants his stats restored because as of today, the very thing that cost him his Heisman and cost him his Hall of Fame worthy college career is now what we're celebrating today. College athletes being able to sell, make money off their name, image, and likeness, the same thing that cost him pretty much everything from his college playing days. And he wants it restored. And as I stated earlier, I know that the rules are silly. I know that they're dumb, but the rules were at the time you can't do that. You knowingly broke the rules. And when you knowingly break the rules just because you think they're dumb, I don't think that just because the rules are different today that you get rid of the punishment, because I think Reggie Bush is not punished because of the money situation. He should remain punished and not get that back because you knowingly broke the rules. Like that's just how I view it. It is what it is. I don't know if he'll get those back or not. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but it's interesting seeing that play out. I'm not a fan too. Today we should be celebrating the athletes who now get to make money moving forward and not looking back in the past and doing the whole, well, what about Jim Tressel at Ohio State and Tattoo Gate, and what about Reggie Bush and blah 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 blah. I'm like, look, as much as I love Jim Tressel, the bottom line is, and I don't know what he knew or did not know, but the bottom line is it happened, and that was the rule, and it's dumb. And the athletes that did it, you still can't do it. The Chase Young situation, I think it's absolutely stupid that you cannot, fly somebody out to watch you on the road or whatever, but he couldn't do it, or how he couldn't loan. It was the loan. It was, he wanted the loan. He took out a loan from a friend or whatever to be able to pay for this friend of his to come watch him play. I think it's ridiculous that he got suspended for that. But at the same time, I didn't think it was ridiculous because I thought the rule was ridiculous. But what I find ridiculous is that athletes who know the rules and break them anyway for personal enjoyment and then have the nerve to be the victim when they get punished for it. So that's where I'm at with Reggie Bush. Yes, the rule is dumb, and yes, the rules were dumb and silly and outdated. That's for sure. That's why today is such a big deal because, finally we're up with the times. These athletes can make money moving forward. But just because they can make the money today moving forward does not change the fact that you weren't allowed to then. Right or wrong, fair or not, you could not do it then. He did it anyways. It was selfish to say, the hell with the rules, I'm going to do what I want. And if you are acknowledging that you're selfish enough to make that decision, saying, hey, I'm only going to be here for 2 or 3 years, I'll deal with the punishment later, I want to make my money now, you can do that. But what you can't do now is sit here and cry victim and say, well, I want my Heisman back. I want my stats restored. Well, the NCAA is like, I wanted you to follow the rules, and you didn't. And the rules are different now, is what it is. Kev Nash brings you over under.
Kev Nash brings you over under.
All right, it's wrenching closer and closer to the end of the NBA season. How about that? We at least know one half of the NBA Finals participants. Last night, we did see Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns punch their ticket back. It's the first time the Suns have been in the finals since '93 with Charles Barkley, by the way. And I was like, oh, that doesn't seem like that long. That was almost 30 years ago. I was 5 the last time I was 5 years old the last time the Phoenix Suns were in the NBA Finals, and they had Charles Barkley. How about that? All right, Kev, we're starting in the NBA, and of course, we're starting with your Phoenix Suns. Or your Phoenix Suns.
Definitely not my Phoenix Suns. I'm rooting for Chris Paul, though. The Phoenix Suns are headed to the NBA Finals with their 130-103 win over the Clippers last night in the Western Conference Finals. So, over or under
the Suns being favored over both teams from the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals.
I think they're going to be favored. Even if, let's say, Giannis is healthy heading into the finals, the Suns will still be the favorite in that. And by the way, it's going to be a competitive finals. I don't want to be the guy that predicts 7 games in the NBA Finals with the healthy Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, but it has the makings of that. What I like about the Bucks and what I like about the Suns, 2 different style teams. The stars on each team are completely different and opposite of the other. They're not mirror images of one another. Right. That's why I find this Hawks series so fascinating, is because, again, 2 good teams, totally different from one another. And that's what's going to make this finals matchup interesting no matter what. You could end up with Trae Young against Chris Paul in the NBA Finals, which would be interesting, but it would stop there because there's nothing interesting about the Hawks after Trae Young, unfortunately. So that's kind of where we're at. I do like their coach, though, so he's earned the right to remain the coach of this team moving forward, so we'll see. But bottom line is, yes, definitely, the Suns will be the favorite, in my opinion, the favorite to win it all right now, regardless of who wins this. But the Bucks will definitely be a way more competitive, enjoyable series with the healthy Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I'm with you 100%. I think the Suns should be favored over whoever comes out of the East. Also, you got to think with Giannis dealing with that hyperextended knee, he'll be a little hobbled if they actually make it, even if he actually even plays in the NBA Finals. So, yeah, I'm rooting for the Bucks to make it, just like you, for it to be a competitive series. Like I said, I really have no dog in this fight or whatever. So I am rooting for the best matchup. I am rooting for a great 7-game series.
All right, next up, staying in the NBA, but this time going to the team that the Suns eliminated last night, the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yes, Clippers star Kawhi Leonard missed the entire Western Conference Finals due to a knee injury. Kawhi can also become a free agent this offseason. So, over or under, Kawhi Leonard spending 3 more seasons with the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah, look, we spend a lot of time talking about, the freedom of these players to be able to play for who they want, go where they want. I know that's the central focus of our transfer portal conversations in college. But there's sometimes you got to understand that there are players who really do want to leave to go to a better situation. And there are those who are not happy where they're at and they need to go find what's best for them. But then there are athletes like Kyrie Irving and Kawhi Leonard that I just think they're just not happy people in general. And I think they struggle finding happiness no matter where they're at. Kawhi found it difficult to play for an organization that is the kind of the poster of organizational success, at least in the 2000s and 2010s, right? I found it strange out of all the organizations that he couldn't cut it with, and not from a talent standpoint, but from a being able to adapt standpoint, San Antonio. Then he goes to Toronto and actually wins the championship there. And they were going to give him a jet. They were going to give him all the money that he wanted. It was going to be his team. He was going to own that country. He wasn't even own a city. He was going to own the country. And he just felt that there was something bigger and better in LA. And now he gets to LA, and there's reports that he is not happy. The same reports that were stemming from his time in San Antonio, the verbiage is verbatim coming out about his unhappiness with the Clippers, Kev. And it's very similar to how Kyrie is, just very flighty, very strange and difficult to work with. And sometimes you got to ask, is the juice, what's the saying? Is the juice worth the squeeze? I think that many teams, including the Nets, have had to ask themselves that about Kyrie. And I think now we're starting to see a pattern develop with Kawhi Leonard. The over-under is what? So Kawhi spending 3 more seasons with the Clippers. I'm going to say it's a big-time under. I'm hoping he comes back. I want to see him run it back one more time. I wanted to see what this Clippers team could do healthy.
Yeah.
I think the Clippers maybe win this series with him healthy. If not, go for sure to Game 7. This Suns team is just really good. But I'd say under. I don't think that he's going to be there 3 more years. And I really the more I read and hear, might kind of be surprised if he's with the Clippers next year. And maybe not just from his choice, but the Clippers might say, no, we're good. We actually I think the best thing that happened to the Clippers was this injury to Kawhi, because I think they kind of know what they have in Paul George now. Now you feel pretty confident in that. I don't know. I'm not saying you can go with Paul George alone, but they're pretty damn good even without Kawhi Leonard. So I think they can just make a couple tweaks on that roster and still be a contender in the West, even without Kawhi. You have to go get another star, but I'm just saying that's a good landing spot for any free agents out there if they wanted to move on. So I'm gonna say under.
I'm gonna go with the over because everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we're gonna go with the over just because, when he left Toronto, at least the rumors, because Kawhi never speaks, It was he wanted to go home. He wanted to be close to home. You know, he's from San Diego and everything like that. He basically commutes from LA to San Diego every day and everything like that. That's the closest team that he can play for. You know, that he can play for in the NBA, unless he's gonna play for the Suns or the Lakers. So I think he actually is going to end up staying with the Clippers, re-sign him with the Clippers, and going to be there at least 3 more seasons.
If I'm the Clippers, I don't know if I want him.
I mean, when his knee isn't popping out of socket, he's balling.
But again, it's stemming to also his teammates don't like him.
I don't think anybody likes him.
And we talked about this yesterday. You could win champion like a Scottie Pippen. You could win champion, but is that the ideal route you want to go? Like, you know what I mean? I know what you're saying, and I agree with you, by the way. Like, too many temper tantrums are thrown. Well, if they don't like me, do your job. Suck it up. I mean, we've seen examples of that. But just because you can suck it up and it's been proven that you can win with discomfort with the doesn't mean that that's the route you want to draw. That doesn't mean that's the blueprint you want to follow. Look, he'll be a Clipper next year, but I think next year will be the deciding factor of whether or not he returns to LA again or whether the Clippers want him. But I'm going to say, for me, it's the under. But I think those issues with him are going to stem no matter where he goes. So, interesting nonetheless.
Where, if he leaves the Clippers, where would you see him going?
I really don't know.
I've heard rumors about Miami. Those are the rumors about Miami and Dallas. Those are the ones that people say maybe he'll go there. But you know, the thing about
Pat Riley won't like him.
Yeah, like they're a very demanding franchise. They want you to play like all 82, and with that degenerative knee he has, like it ain't no telling when it's going.
The head of the mob, Kawhi ain't gonna kiss his rings when he walks in.
Right. So, I got my own rings. I got one for a whole country.
He's going to show him his rings on his hand and show him a finger that doesn't have a ring in that process. I'm just saying. Miami would be interesting. I will say this about Phoenix. They didn't rest players.
Nope.
I'm not saying that that's why they're the ones left standing. If anything, we're being told that if you play every game, the result will be the result of all the teams that rested players all year. Milwaukee didn't rest players all year,
right.
And here they are. Toronto didn't rest. Atlanta didn't rest players all year, and here they are. And the Clippers did. They were one of the few teams that made it this far. But again, they're so deep that they can, but it is what it is. All right, on to the next one, Kev. Another pivotal Game 5 in the Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference Finals are tonight. Game 5, Atlanta Hawks at the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is officially out. Trae Young is still questionable. So over or under. Well, this is totally useless now because
when you wrote this earlier today, that's fair. I guess we could change it to will Trae Young play over or under 1 minute for Trae Young. I'll jump in on that. If I'm Trae Young, you got to do everything you can to play right now. By the way, you take the stars off both roster. The Bucks are better, right?
Yes.
But the team that's playing better is the team with less talent.
Yes.
That's what's great. Like Toronto, I keep calling them Toronto. I'm sorry. It's the red jerseys I keep seeing in front of me. But the Atlanta, they have no business being competitive. The more you think about where they're at right now and how close they are to a finals appearance, this might be the worst finals team since Allen Iverson's Sixers. And what I mean by that is that team had no business being in the finals, but Allen Iverson willed it there. And that's kind of what
Cavs, LeBron's Cavs.
Yeah, but the star on that team is way better than the star that was on the Sixers and the star that'll be on here.
They still had 2 Hall of Famers on the 76ers. Mutombo is a Hall of Famer. Iverson's a Hall of Famer. Cavs just had
Mutombo, the guy that blocks cereal?
Yeah, you know Hall of Fame guy.
I know who Mutombo. But
Kimbe.
And Larry Brown. Okay. By the way, so you know what? You're right. I will give you that because that Sixers team beats LeBron's Cavs team in a series, I think.
I think so, too.
That Sixers team was just better. They were more well-balanced. But, man,
Eric
Snow. By the way, another one of the genius free agent grabs for the Cavs trying to keep LeBron in Cleveland. Let's go get Eric Slow and try to, Ben Wallace. They gave him Ben Wallace. They gave him Eric Slow.
Eric Snow, Canton McKinley's finest, 3-3-0, just like LeBron, keeping him happy, keeping his own guys in there. I don't think Trae Young plays. I think they rest Trae Young tonight as well.
Do you rest him because there's no Giannis and take your chance in a gimme game?
You try to give him another day to get healthier and put all your chips on the table back home in Atlanta.
That's true too, but who's there more pressure? If there's no Giannis and no Trae Young, which team's facing more pressure?
Chris Middleton. The pressure is all on Chris Middleton.
And the Bucks because you're home.
All on Chris Middleton. Forget the Bucks. It's on Middleton. Middleton, you've been you've been the closer for this team all season long. And the switch from Giannis being a closer to him being a closer, people really didn't recognize it until the playoffs. But I've been watching. He's been a closer. He's been doing his job. He's been balling, yada, yada, yada. But now there is no Giannis to be the starter. Now you have to be the starter and the finisher. Chris Middleton, you got to get it done. And I know he's not a popular name out there. He's not a guy. He doesn't have commercials. But look, man, you're the guy. You're the second best player on the team. You get paid over $100 million as well. You're at home. You and Drew Holiday, y'all got to get it done, man. Y'all got to win this game.
Staying in the NBA real quick, I'll throw another over-under at you.
Let's do it.
Over-under one more season. Actually, forget the over-under. Whatever. Luke Kennard, is he a Clipper next year?
Woo!
They signed him to a 3-year deal for $50 million. I think 30 of it was all guaranteed. The dude, good for him. I don't think he lived up to what they were expecting. Now, is it? I don't know. They need to go get better shooting. I think Luke Kennard's a good shooter, but I also think Luke Kennard is more of a he slashes too. Like Luke Kennard's not your stand over in the corner and wait for the ball like Danny Green and guys like that. Like I don't know. I don't know what Luke Kennard's great at in the NBA. I know what he's capable of in the NBA.
He's not a great shooter. He's a good shooter. And they
paid him like a great shooter.
Paid him and the thing about it is the second round pick, Terrence Mann, gets his minutes. So that's alarming. You know, the things that Terrence Mann brings to the table aren't the same things that he brings to the table. Obviously, he's a better shooter than Terrence Mann, but Terrence Mann is a better defender, more athletic, and all those intangible things. So that's I'm going to go, he's a valuable trading piece, man. Like, because everybody can use another good shooter on their team. I
don't know what the Clippers necessarily need, but they do what they I don't know. Maybe they don't touch him. Maybe they go get more shooters, and then he complements the shooters that they bring in. But he's also a liability at the defensive end.
I think he stays because Reggie Jackson's not going to be there next season. They're going to need somebody to knock down threes because Reggie Jackson's about to catch him a bag in the offseason.
I will say, Luke, he looks the part out there. He doesn't look scrawny. He doesn't look undersized. He doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, he's actually filled out a little bit. Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, he's always going to be one of those guys on no matter what team he plays on, he will always be a fringe guy of, is he a valuable piece to a championship puzzle, or is he a valuable trading piece that can get us whatever other deficiencies we have? Until he becomes an elite shooter, he's always going to be vulnerable to being moved because they paid him to be the elite shooter. Luke was not elite this year. He showed glimpses of it, but he showed glimpses in Detroit too, and I think that's what LA was counting on. And I think that they thought, I thought the same thing. I thought that the stuff in Detroit where he didn't blossom was because he had to be one of the guys in Detroit, because Detroit just was a bad roster. In LA, you had Paul George, you had Kawhi, you had playmakers, you had Rajon. All he has to do is be Luke and get his feet set, be ready to go. And that's not that anymore. So there's that. Here's one more. I know we're out of time, but here's one more. Over under 1 year, Reggie Bush to get his Heisman back and his stats restored, or will it not happen at all?
Over. The NCAA is sticklers for stuff like that. They'll give a coach back some wins before they'll give back a player stats. So way over. He'll be, 50, 60 years old before they reinstate that.
Yeah, I'm going to say way over as well, if at all. I don't know. That's why I opened up with that, just because I was curious. Like, it is what it is. And by the way, if he gets it back, I'm not going to lose sleep at night. I'm not waking up every day hoping that Reggie doesn't get his Heisman back. I don't like when guys break the rules and then they try to be the victim later. I'm like, well, how come they're allowed to? No, it doesn't matter. You broke the rule. And don't be bringing up weed and all this stuff you did earlier, making me talk bad about people, and then I feel bad after. I'm like, it is what it is. But
don't blame our government for changing the rules.
It's something that they make money off of too now, just like the NCAA.
Aha!
So there's that. But
slowly but surely, I'm gonna get you, Kenner.
No, I'm not with this. I ain't budging on this. Reggie,
you said the same thing about payments.
No, Chase Young, dummy.
There goes
Reggie Bush, dummy.
That interview's not happening either.
That's fine. He's on Fox. He ain't gonna do the show anyway.
What about Joe Klatt?
I like Joe Klatt. He's good.
Hit him up.
Can't. I talked bad to him on Twitter. I can't get him on now.
Goes that interview.
I told you, as if, and that's the thing too. Everyone's like, well, they're not going to do your show now. I'm like, if they weren't doing it when I was being nice, what's the difference?
When were you nice?
On the days I wasn't tweeting at them.
We need to get Joel Klatt on, man.
I want to hear a Fox affiliate. We're not. They won't do it. They will not do. At least that's what they say. Who's Bucher? The Bucher guy that always does Fox FS1. Is it Chris Bucher? Is that his name?
Is it?
I've talked to him before. He can't do ESPN affiliated shows. Hell, they wouldn't even. I mean, Colin won't do. He can't do any contractually. He can't do anything. Not that he has any interest to. Colin Cowherd drives me nuts because he's still like that ex that pretends like he's over her, but he always refers, oh, my former employer. It's so petty, but that's why Colin's great. But like he's so petty.
Man, no, because what's his name?
Chris Broussard?
No.
Big fan of his too. And actually, he used to come on my show all the time. And he won't come on now because he's on Fox.
Nick Wright.
I love Nick Wright.
Nick
Wright's pretty good.
He's on Bomani's podcast at least once a month.
I ain't Bomani. Bomani's actually really funny. He's actually intimidating. He's intimidating.
Bomani is an ESPN employee, and Nick Wright, he's on his podcast.
So Bomani and Paul Feinbaum don't really see eye to eye. And I was at a conference. I think I called you. I was in New York before COVID, and I called you and I said this was very uncomfortable because Bomani and Paul Feinbaum, they don't really. I don't like Paul Feinbaum. I have a lot of his personality traits where I don't care if you like me or not. But like Paul Feinbaum doesn't care if you like him or not, just like I don't. But like Bomani and him were on the stage together, and they were literally going at one another, like back and forth on some things. And I called you after. I'm like, that was like actually one of the most uncomfortable conferences I've been to, watching those two go at it on stage and then try to smile after. And like, it was good stuff there. But I don't even know what the hell we're talking about anymore.
2020, baby. What a year.
Brian Roberts, former Dayton Flyer. Appreciate him hanging out with us here today. If you missed that interview, Brian Roberts is a part of the very first name, image, and likeness deal for the current Dayton Flyers men's basketball players. And there's an opportunity there that he has started. It was announced today in the Dayton Daily News. David Jablonski does a good job covering the Flyers, has that article out. Give him a follow on Twitter. You'll see the link there. I'll actually retweet it coming up. But we got Brian Roberts on the show earlier today. We got to catch up with him. We got to talk a little NBA playoffs with him as well, which is pretty cool. But he goes into detail about what this deal is between his company and the partnership there with the Dayton Flyers and the access to the players and utilizing their name, image, and likeness to promote their services. So that's good stuff coming up on the other side. Brian Roberts, Dayton Flyers Hall of Famer. We'll have that conversation next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
You good? Anything you want to talk about? Here if you need me. Just want to check in. Appreciate you. Everyone feels less than okay sometimes. They may not want your advice, but they may welcome your ear. Be present is a simple but powerful way to be there for others, especially now when many are separated. Help teens and young adults find their power, conquer the difficult times, and get to a better tomorrow. Be present, Ohio.
Sponsored by the Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation and aired in cooperation with the OAB and this station.
Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps is celebrating the sunshine with a bunch of fresh new menu choices, from pizzas to salads to subs. See all the creative flavors in store for you right now at milanosubs.com.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight. Apply today at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
You took an antacid, and now your frequent heartburn's back. Stop heartburn before it begins with Prilosec OTC. Its unique delayed-release formula blocks heartburn at the source for 24 hours, so you can extinguish heartburn before it starts. Make the switch to Prilosec OTC today and live heartburn-free. Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
So now I've got this pack of 4 Shar-Pei rescue dogs for, oh my goodness, probably 5-6 years. They get a regular diet of Dinovite with every meal.
DINOVITE.com.
People remark on what beautiful coats they've got. I tell them, you don't need to wait until a problem presents itself. It's far better to keep the dog happy and healthy at all times.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up? We'll help you find everything you need. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $28.99. And if you're an AutoZone Rewards member, you'll also get a $5 bonus reward. Get what you need fast and get the job done easier.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to Parent Teacher Night. Oh, yes, Miss Garner.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles everywhere.
Really? My airline credit card only gets extra miles on some types of purchases.
And you can use Capital One Venture Miles on any travel purchase. Plus, earn 100,000 bonus miles when you spend $20,000 in your first year.
Venture gets an A+.
Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Limited time offer. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
What if I told you you could save 50% off your monthly cell phone bill without sacrificing your service? This is Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst, and I'm talking about H2O Wireless. If you're with AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, you're just paying too much. Listen to this. You can get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 a month. That means the average person is probably saving $400 a year. You might use that to fund your emergency reserve fund or pay down some credit card bills or put some money in your retirement plan. And switching is so easy. You can keep your phone, keep your number. You just have to swap out your SIM card. You get the same great service you currently have, but at half the price. Right now, you can save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. That's pound 250 and say keyword get H2O to start saving today.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland & Summers. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hope everyone's had a great day. And again, we talked about it. Name, image, and likeness. Today is the very first day moving forward that college athletes can officially begin making money off of their name, image, and likeness. And joining us now to talk about that, these opportunities for today's current college athletes, as well as, today's current Dayton Flyers, especially on the men's basketball side of things. We have former Dayton Flyer Hall of Famer Brian Roberts with us. Brian, welcome in. I appreciate your time today.
Hey, no problem.
Hey, so this is a very cool ordeal that just was announced a little bit ago, a project you're involved in again. So moving forward, name, image, likeness, athletes can begin making money off of that. Before we get into the project you're with, just talk about what that means for college athletes today and how much would that have meant to you? What would you have been able to do during your playing days, as big of a star as you were then and still are now amongst the Flyer faithful? How big of a deal is this for athletes moving forward, and how big of a deal would it have been for you back during your playing days?
Yeah, I'm happy for these guys. It's an exciting time for, all student athletes to be able to, take advantage of this in the right ways. And, For me, yeah, I wish it was something like this back in 2008, because, it's not even just about, the money. That's a little part of it, but it's also cultivating, networking relationships, getting involved in the business community without, having to worry about, oh, am I doing this? Am I doing this wrong? Is this illegal? So, this is just a great, step, I think, for these athletes to engage in the community, and for the community to engage with these athletes as well.
Now, with you being involved with Flyer Faithful LLC, which, again, you purchased real estate, which includes the field house, a bar on Brown Street, as well as some other rental properties around Brown Street. That was a pretty cool business venture that was announced back in 2020. At what point did you really start thinking about, okay, looking at the opportunities coming out for name, image, and likeness for today's college athletes? At what point did you look at that and say, hey, there's going to be an opportunity there for your business venture, along with the personal interests of the players as well?
Right. Yeah. So getting involved with that was kind of the initial step for me to, get back into the Dayton community. But, I kept not a close eye, but I monitored this whole name, image, likeness legislation as it, kind of evolved and it was starting to get more momentum. So I think over the last, couple of weeks, me and, some of the guys in the group, guys like Matt Farrell, we kind of just talked and thought of different ways that, we could, potentially, help out and be involved. And I thought, me being a former player, I thought, it was a good thing, and it'd be cool for me to, kind of help these guys who, I was in these guys' shoes, not that long ago. Well, at this point, it is kind of long. I was going to
say, 2008 didn't seem like that long ago, but it does now.
It does. It really does. So, it just was, I thought it'd be cool to find a way to make this thing work. And, that's where we're at right now.
Now, a lot of, especially with it picking up momentum as of late, the name, image, and likeness debate. Was that something that back in your playing days that you just felt like very restricted? It was just the norm, right? It was just part of, okay, we can do this, we can't do this. When you look at the momentum that it picked up, which led to the pressure of it finally being passed to where these guys can make money off of their name. Thinking back to when you played, was there ever any talk amongst you and your teammates, whether it be in AAU in high school and all the way on to college and even the pros, that you're like, man, we should have been able to make money off of our name? Like, when did that really become a sticking point for you?
I think when someone, kind of brought it up, but like when I was playing, it's just what it was. Mm-hmm. We weren't, sitting here, man, I wish we could do this or do that. It's just, that was the time, and that just, how things were done. So it really wasn't a thought in my mind to the point where I'm like, man, we need to do something, until, somebody kind of brought up the idea of that. And, it got some momentum in the news, and, obviously there were lawsuits and, things going on legally that, made it more in the public, that maybe college athletes should be able to, at some point get some money or some compensation for what they do for these universities. So, when I was playing, I really didn't think about it, but, at this point, it's like, I think it makes sense. I want to be able to help these guys, not only financially, but, in any capacity, whether it's, getting in the business community when they're done playing or whatever, I just want to be a resource for these guys. Cause like I said, I was in their shoes, so I know what it's like, you know what I mean? So, that's kind of where I'm at in my thought process on the whole thing.
Former Dayton Flyers great Hall of Famer Brian Roberts with us here on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Brian, we hear a lot of people say, well, this is really, it's not going to benefit all athletes. It's only going to benefit the Dukes and the Kentuckys and the Kansases of the world. It's not going to help the smaller schools. I'm not saying Dayton's like a small school, because you look at the resources, the facilities, and the passion of the fans. But do you believe that, not so much from a UD angle, but do you believe that that's the case, that this is only going to benefit those bigger schools, or is this an example right here, right off the bat on day one, of athletes being able to make money off their name, image, and likeness, that know that this is going to be spread around all sports and all sizes?
Yeah, I think it can be. I think it comes down to the community in which these colleges are located in. Obviously, you look at the big time schools, like you said, Duke, Kansas, and all those, that's probably easier for them to have opportunities to take advantage of this. But, for schools like Dayton or any school, it's all about the community. And I think no matter the size of the school, if you can get everybody on board to help these college athletes, which will in turn help, these, local businesses or whatever the case may be, and helping the university at large, I mean, it all kind of works together. So I think it puts more of the onus on people around these universities to somehow engage in a way that they can take advantage of it.
You talked about engagement and everything like that, but also the education for the student athletes and everything like that. What are you guys doing to make sure you guys are putting them in the best position to educate themselves, to not to take bad deals, quote unquote, be on the up and up? And are you guys teaming up with the university as well?
Yeah, I think, as this starts to become more clear, it's so early in the process, I think I wanted to be, kind of one of the first ones to get involved, just so I can, be a resource, like I said, not only just with the financial part, but, if in any avenue, whether it's understanding the business side of things or just networking and connecting, these guys in more of a, not a fan player, kind of relationship, but, kind of a business relationship, and just getting them exposed to that. If that's an avenue that these guys want to explore, I'm open to that. But, it's still early on to kind of see where this can go. But, I think it's moving in the right direction, obviously. And, I wanted to be one of the first ones to kind of help out.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, pretty exciting. We were sitting here saying, okay, July 1st, first day that these guys can make money off their name, image, likeness. We were sitting back waiting for, okay, what's the first deal we're going to see? And it's pretty cool that it's tied in with the former Flyer being yourself. I think that's pretty cool. But what is entitled with this, Brian? Is it through one or two athletes in particular? Is it the team as a whole? How is this deal? Is it distributed through UD? Is it like a UD deal? Is it with the players individually? And what will their responsibilities? What will their services be in exchange for the profit, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so we have a kind of a social media kind of contract with any of the players that want to jump on board. It's just to kind of get their feet wet with this stuff. It's posting some things on their social media concerning the real estate ventures that we have with the Flyer Faithful, and being able to put that out there and just get that out there that we have some real estate available, apartments and stuff like that. So I think right now that's the initial thinking and thought process behind these contracts that we're sending out to the players.
So again, are you when you set this deal up, is it through the athletics department? Is it through what department? Is it with UD, the players individually? It sounds like it's more like of a UD centric deal with the access to the players, correct?
Right.
Okay, cool. And that's what we were curious of how that was going to work directly and everything. So this is pretty neat, pretty excited about it. Excited that you, being a former Flyer, the one that really opened the door for the first business venture with these athletes. I think that's pretty cool. And Kevin, we just need 1 or 2 more minutes of your time. We'd be really angry if we couldn't ask you an NBA playoff question or two, because I'm pretty sure you're watching like all of us.
Yeah, I'm checking it out for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, you had that relationship with Monty Williams. He was your coach earlier in your career back with the Pelicans. Talk about your relationship with him and how he's able to communicate with young players.
Listen, I owe a lot to, that man. He was an instrumental part of, me as not only a player, but as a person. To have him as my first coach in the NBA, you can ask any of the players that have played under him. He's just such a stand-up guy, and he's just a high-character person. So I'm super happy for him and what he's done, obviously, in Phoenix there. And, it's something that I'm proud to see him at that level and see what he's done, because I know the type of person he is and how he coaches young men, not only just as players, but, as people. So it's a joy to watch, him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him, in the finals and watching that team, because he's done a hell of a job with that team, obviously, him and CP getting back together, player coach, they've done some special things, obviously. So I owe him a lot, as far as my career and where it has progressed. So, he means a lot to me.
Awesome. Now, it looks like it's a complete war of attrition, especially in the Eastern Conference, with Giannis not playing tonight, Trae Young still questionable. Who are the Phoenix Suns going to play in the finals, man?
I think it's Milwaukee. I think, Milwaukee will find a way to get the job done. I know Atlanta's hot, and it's hard to go against a team like that who's playing so well, kind of the underdog role. But I think Milwaukee will find a way to get to the finals, and it'll be Phoenix, Milwaukee.
Nice. Now, one last question, man. If Patrick Beverly would have pushed you like he pushed you last night, what would have been your reaction?
Hey, if I was playing as well as Chris Paul was playing last night, I would have laughed too. I'd have been like, all right, go ahead. That just means I got in your head. That means, that was the white flag right there.
Facts.
So I would have been like, you know what? It's over. That was it. I'm going to the finals after that.
But that's so weak, though, because, again, the series is done. He maybe could be suspended heading into next regular season, but no one's thinking that far. You're just pissed off because your team just lost or whatever. But that was weak. And on Twitter, he apologized and said that, hey, that wasn't meant for you. What do you mean that wasn't meant for you? You shoved him to the ground with his back to you. I mean, that was
smoke was real.
That was definitely meant for one person and one person
only. Like, come on now. Hey, Brian, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. If you don't mind, give us this. So without revealing too much, when can we expect to start seeing some of these promotions on these players' social medias moving forward? Is there a plan for that yet, or was this just laying the groundwork to come up with that strategy moving forward?
Yeah, like I said, we're finalizing, getting these contracts and everything, in order and everything. So I'd expect, some posts maybe in the next couple of weeks. That's kind of the timeline. I think it's safe and fair.
All right, sounds like a plan. Actually, this is so you said the Bucks are getting to the finals. Are the Bucks beating the Suns, or the Suns beating the Bucks? And again, assuming and hoping that Giannis is healthy, of course.
Yeah, at that point, Phoenix, Milwaukee. I'm going to say Phoenix makes it happen, man. Phoenix just shocks the world and takes it, I think.
All right, good stuff. Hey, Brian, take care. Best of luck moving forward. I think this is awesome what you're doing, and I know the community appreciates it, the Flyers appreciate it, and hey, the players appreciate it. They love that. So there you go.
For sure.
All right,
take
care.
No question. Thank you, guys.
Yep, take care. All right, that was Brian Roberts, Dayton Flyers Hall of Famer. Appreciate him hanging out with us here for a little bit. If you tuned in the middle of that and want to catch all of it, we'll have that posted for you coming up here following the show.
It's the